insta-banning Fortress may be indicative that either one, they were happy to kind of let it pass as a free loss and we'll play into the third map, or they have actually done some prep work behind that and it could catch EP off guard. We've seen it play out and actually evolve really, really quickly. But obviously we'll turn our attention to Consulate up first. Both of these two teams will want to get off to a start on a well-established map in the pool where I think they'll both feel fairly confident.
I mean, looking at ANIOS' last game against Chiefs, right? They picked Consulate. They get that again. They allowed Fortress. Fortress just wasn't selected by Chiefs. So from their side of things, going into the map veto, they're probably happy with what they got. And the same for Enterprise. I mean, depending on if Enterprise win, but it would be a good question to ask is if they just simply look at this as a way to just sort of test out the new map. The best teams in the world have the best map pools. So Fortress is a map. If you have that in your map pool, it's one less map that you kind of have to ban away. And I think it's a good opportunity for them as we head into Consulate first up. Enterprise will be on defense. Expo Piano will be the first site selection. Big game. I mean, this would be a huge shock if ANIOS were to win this. A spot in the upper bracket final on the cards. And again, a reminder, as was the case last week and still is the case in terms of the name situation for Tuhan. I have to go back and find out which one is which. I have it here. So Tuhan is Aaron, Jigsaw is Mikasa, just as a reminder.
So the bans for this opening half, it's mirrored to Chanka defense. The Chanka going to be more meaningful for top floor when we head there. Notable that it is Piano, though, up first, selected by EP, kind of following this trend that we're seeing established. We saw it in NA yesterday, and probably it's probably going to uptick a little bit, I think, in OCE as well, with the tertiary site selection up first from the defense to open up the match. And then in terms of the attacking bans, it is the Blitz and the Dockerby.
Loser of this, of course, drops to the lower bracket quarterfinal. Well, the good news for ANIOS, though, is that, I mean, there's stress-free. What a start, though. Explosive from Cairo, the Nitro onto Proxy. That's one way to kind of kickstart off the series. Good start for Cairo. It's fair to say, I mean, we spoke about this last week, but Cairo goes into this roster really as the one that can kind of go under the radar. And I think that's just the best position for him to be in. Cairo's a great player. Yeah. I don't know if he's a #1 option on a team. #2, I think he could certainly be, but he's probably the 5th option on this roster, and that's a massive luxury to have. It just means he can play more freely, he can be aggressive. If he dies, not the end of the world. Jigsaws and your Tuhans and your Bappins of the world are all capable of getting multi-kills to make up for it.
Yeah, probably healthy for the team dynamic as well, where he feels a little less pressure and less onus to be a star player and can just focus on his role instead of maybe sensing that he has to kind of do it all, which was probably the case in some of his previous projects. Midpoint of the round, ANIOS have still been able to establish some okay map control, so credit to them. Enterprise, though, haven't contested it all too hard. They've peeled back further over towards the likes of CEO. Bappin over towards Catering. But with that hard bridge on the exterior, I anticipate he vacates, but no, he stands firm. Spots the shoulder. Does the drone see him first? No. Jump out, a success. And a down for Bappin.
Oh, that's a lovely headshot onto Shaz as well. And I love the discipline from Bappin. Instead of going back out to get the complete flush on Wizard, he just leaves him down there. That's already a win into the round for him to get that down. Chef Jeff, flawless. Yeah, I mean, that's a wonderful start for Enterprise. That's kind of a statement start against Team ANIOS to kind of just suggest to them, yeah, you're in for a ride here, boys. Good luck. And starting off with that Nitrocell from Cairo, just up top, yellow out through the skylight, picks up a nice early kill. Really good read and play from Bappin. Knows he's tucked into the corner, goes on drone, easy vault out. Just the decision-making that you see there from players on Enterprise is just on a different level in this region.
Protect your bombs from being defused by attackers.
Strong decision-making, and then from an execute standpoint as well, with how strong their mechanics are and the amount of experience they have, they're able to back themselves into up the successful chance of these players actually working out. Dominant first half, and for EP, that's exactly the result they want to walk away with today. We expect resistance from ANIOS. I'm still pretty doubtful that it's going to be a super one-sided map, but if EP really lock in, play at their best, of course, without revealing a whole lot strategically, but by just playing the fundamentals well, it is still going to be very challenging to break down when you think about the style of Consulate and starting out on attack, trying to build some momentum and confidence. EP might be able to crush them early here.
I mean, the benefit for ANIOS, though, is I just think that they will never at any point kind of give in or care too much. This is a good learning opportunity for the majority of these players, and they have zero pressure, zero expectation. You know, all the pressures in every single match will be on the side of Enterprise. They know that. They know they're expected to win every single series, every single map, and that's mentally tasking. Like that's a drain on the team, the players. Jigsaw with the opening kill onto Chef, and he gets to just have the license on the Vigil. 3-0 start for Jigsaw. Last week, he was not even really the main factor on the team. Think back to his time on Chiefs, and it was Jigsaw 25 plus or bust, and even then, sometimes they'd still lose games.
Yep. So minute down, and again, EP with a strong foundation. Similarly to the last round, ANIOS aren't being too flippant when it comes to getting map control or establishing that map control. I think a lot of that comes down to EP being very calculated in the amount of map they're willing to give away essentially for free, and then when they're able to bunker down and actually lean into that utility, things start to get very, very challenging with a player down. Brendo flank opportunity, Spiral. Doesn't quite catch the timing here onto a Razor. Holding the long angle in through Pillar. Hard breach elsewhere from Wizard. This is where it starts to get tough for ANIOS.
Just over a minute, and so far now, you know, deep into this second round, since the first, there's been zero control opportunities for ANIOS. Oh my god. So just like that, Brendo did go down. That's a 3v1 now. Shaz by himself does at least get the kill onto Tuhan, leaves it to Jigsaw and Bappen. 4-0, 3-0 for those two respectively. Shaz has got some time. Unlike the series that we just played out before, guys, this is a difficult 1v2 because, well, Bappen and Jigsaw are well renowned in this region as fraggers, and he doesn't even get an opportunity, Shaz. 2-0 start for Enterprise.
Yeah, I was pretty confident in setting that up as a plausible round there. Blackbeard, one of the best operators to have available in a 1 versus 2 like that, if you can isolate the ones, and it looked like that was the case, but then you factor in who those ones are against, and right up there is arguably the most mechanically skilled in the region. So ANIOS finding it difficult to catch a break here in the first 2 rounds. There's been glimpses through the mid-round there. At least they're down on basement with some good flush-outs, and the utility was actually quite decent, but needs to be a big emphasis early round in doing a better job if they are losing this first pick to at least get a trade, or at minimum get more meaningful map control, because at the moment it's been rough going for them, and it's making that transition towards executes very, very tough. And you need as much firepower as possible. Again, when you're going up against those really mechanically gifted anchors and the utility that they have on offer, consistently being a player down it's going to be devastating. You need to keep it even, and then you can rely a little bit more on that that synergy and that teamwork, which I think ANIOS actually do have in their favor.
5-0 start for Jigsaw. It's hard to kind of break these rounds down because of just how dominant Enterprise typically are in this region. A lot of the times it just simply comes down to the fact that just so much better gun in hand, their mechanics are so clean. The decision making that they obviously have as well. It's the teamwork and coordination that's going to be the big focus for me over really the year, I guess, as a whole. Is what's the strategy of the team like? You think about the best teams in this region historically have had someone like a Fisher guy, an IGL that can help facilitate the strategy side of things. You know, historically, you look at the 5 players that are on the roster, and they've all been absolute top fraggers at some point or another. slow and steady from ANIOS. They haven't been able to bring any level of aggression early in the rounds. They're so hesitant. They know that Enterprise are going to be playing at all of these entry positions, potentially can go for runouts. Jigsaw, he's going to get tagged up, but he could just transfer back down below and gets back to full health. Power of the Scopos.
It has been more competitive, though, the early round here from ANIOS and obtaining control midpoint of the round. They haven't lost a pick just yet. Oh, Bappin almost had a moment of opportunity there through meeting. Lions going to lock him down. Important moment here for Bappin. If he stays and contests, probably wants to take at least one with him, may play for life. But the time as well. They're leaning into that nicely defensively here from EP. So instead of maybe focusing and emphasizing that opening pick, instead playing time. As I mentioned that, though, Brendo does fall elsewhere. Shaz took a chunk of damage, but survives, and so that shield's still up. Can Bappin win this duel? No. Well, yes, I know. It's
trade.
A trade. Good info
Technically,
in the meantime from Cairo. Yeah.
Technically not a win, so at least a trade. 40 seconds, though, left into the round. And Cairo getting information on the pulse. ANIOS find themselves in the best position so far, 3 rounds in on Consulate.
Jigsaw back up above, so transitioning back above. Proxy down. Is it unraveling for ANIOS?
Well, a huge nitro, and in terms of time as well, that's when you want Proxy up. Candelas can go in towards site. He's out and permanently out. Jigsaw easy on the flank, gets rid of the Monty. And 18 seconds left for Wizard and Eraser to scramble this plant down. Thinking about the plant inside of towers, Cairo, or one has slipped by. That's Wizard down over towards surface. There's in the kit on the floor. Eraser. Does he even have the time to think about grabbing this kid under pressure? Cairo comes up big for his team.
Big from Cairo. Honestly, that's a really impressive round from him. And it's not just down to the clutch ability from him and the individual skill that he shows there to find 2 kills, but it's prior to that. The information that he's relaying to the team, especially Jigsaw, facilitating that flank, compound that with the nitro as well. That's a big round from him. And it's funny, right? Because it wasn't that long ago we were discussing about how he doesn't necessarily need to be as much of a star player on this roster as maybe those in the past. But there's still room for him to have moments like that. And that's honestly a storyline that's probably consistent across essentially every player on the team. They have that potential, but they don't always have to show it so consistently or as consistently as they have in the past, given the depth of this team. And a case for ANIOS where it's so close, yet ultimately so far. A little bit better than the 2 rounds prior, but again, small mistakes and small imperfections look more dramatic against a team as good as EP.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? You're not going to be able to get away with opportunities like that against EP in comparison to other teams. It's going to be far more difficult. 3-0 start for Enterprise. Eraser did get the opening kill in the 3rd round. We have the bans, Blackbeard, Denari. Denari used twice, Blackbeard used twice, so pretty equal and fair bans for both teams. Cairo with the 3K. Prior to that, Jigsaw had a 3K in the 2nd round as well, so the firepower already on display. 6 to Jigsaw, 4 to Cairo, 4 to Bappin. I mean, Brendo essentially is going to be like the new Fisher guy on this roster. And Tuhan at 1 and 2, you know he's going to have games where he's capable of dropping 20. But that needs to be the difficult part for this EP roster is you never really want any of them to drop 20 plus because it means that probably the other 3-4 players aren't quite performing. I say that. Jigsaw 6-0 start. Could go for a big one here.
Yeah. On the Scopos here and begins his roam over towards admin. Wasn't afraid to peel back pretty early last time out, but then re-aggressed top floor, and it was a big difference maker in being able to hit a successful flank and support Cairo on the site itself, back on that split objective. Tiptoeing around the exterior are ANIOS. And Dreamwork confirming the position here of Jigsaw, who does get caught on that cross. Is he able to drop? Yes. So good support there from Bappin. Allows Jigsaw to be alleviated of some of that pressure. Does mean, though, that there's some control for ANIOS. But EP haven't had to take a lot of risk to contest this.
And Lionscam will ping out on Jigsaw's position over towards Lounge. 90 seconds remaining in the round. 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 90 seconds remaining in the round previous round was the slowest round that we had had so far. A minute on the opening kill. Prior to that, Enterprise were able to find those early picks around the 2.5 minute mark in both of the first 2 rounds. And that's probably then a case of, well, rounds 3 and 4 now for ANIOS on the attack. They're just struggling to get into the building because they're just wary of the fact that Enterprise can find a kill at any moment. This will now end up being the slowest round that we've had, so it continues to get worse for ANIOS in that they can't really get any pacing in their own control. Under a minute left, still a 5 versus 5.
45 seconds, and there's still 10 players alive inside of the server. Cairo basement on the pulse feeding info, and a Nitro elsewhere will find a Razor. Looks good for EP at the moment. Just 2 deathmark targets available, unfortunately, for Proxy, so a little limited in his options as well through the late round. As we see, there is that info gathering from Cairo. I can't help but feel that EP have a very strong read on this push at the moment.
These are the kind of rounds to be quite shocked if ANIOS walked away with a round win as the Monty pushes down yellow stairs. That's Shaz. Now it's a 2-on-1 stack. Go for the guard break. Try and get that shield in an awkward position. Cairo getting overly aggressive, though. That has allowed Proxy to just push on down. Brendo throws his life away as well. There is only 5 seconds remaining. Shaz is going to go get that plant. Good shot over from Tuhan. Shaz isn't even getting the... They've just completely run out of time. I mean... That's the benefit, at least from what Cairo is doing there. Even though he does lose his life, he doesn't care about his KD number. It's like Monty's got kit, likely. Monty's now stuck yellow stairs, and there's like 10 seconds left in the round. So even if I end up dying here, it's job done for EP. Shaz can never get into sight safely to get that plant down. Timeout from ANIOS.
That's 4 in a row from EP. Feels like ANIOS are slowly chipping away and getting better as these rounds go by, but the gap is still notable at the moment. EP are such a phenomenal team, and yeah, a good example there where they play into a bit of an alternate win con of, sure, Cairo is the sacrificial lamb, but ultimately time is king when you're on defense, and they were able to drain it really, really nicely, not only in that individual play, but the likes of Jigsaw initially. Over towards the opposing side, and yeah, ultimately well calculated there. ANIOS, we'll see what they've been able to chat over that 60-second tack timeout. Next couple of rounds, yeah, pretty much in the realm of must win if they are to look competitive here on cons. It is their map selection as well. EP have elected to go to Fortress, the newest map in the pool next. And so I think it's fair to assess that EP should be very, very strong on that map. Again, with ANIOS letting it slide through, I don't think they'll be completely shell-shocked, but EP should be very strong on map 2, if not stronger than what we've seen here on Consulate in terms of the differentials. So it's unlikely to envision a third map if ANIOS falter here, so they need to step it up, and quickly.
See if they can do anything out of the timeout.
5 seconds left before
Or nothing. Again, if this were a different team, a different opposition, maybe I wouldn't say stressing, but certainly not happy with the performance. They know full well Enterprise is going to be a tall order, a tough ask. It is their map pick. You're 4-0 down. They are on the attack, though, and might be able to kind of flip things around going into the second half. They need something on the board, though. And it has to start now, realistically. 4-2 half would salvage things as Jigsaw lurking spiral. Just trying to see if he can pinch one early. Again, the pacing has gone down further and further every single round that's played. 2 minutes 34, 2 minutes 22, minute 01, 41, the time of opening deaths. So ANIOS, as the attacking team, can they maybe flip that script a little bit, find a bit more firepower early in these rounds, aggression to try and at least take fights against Enterprise and not be scared about losing those potential fights? So Chef Jeff, there you go. Opening kill, their second of the half. Better play from Chef Jeff as they catch out Cairo. And ANIOS out of the timeout, now in a much better position as Shaz gets rid of the lurking Jigsaw. Lovely headshot on the Monty. 3 versus 5 now for EP as they might drop their first round.
Well, AP not going to give up without a fight, but unfortunately members falling. Brendo has repositioned up above second floor. This could be impactful. Needs to find multiple. Good for one. Well, he needs all 4 if he is to win this out, and not the case. Chef Jep opened up the round, then he'll close it as well. Some good, confident firepower there from ANIOS. How much of that was off the back of the TAC timeout? Maybe if they can't win the series, we'll be able to get an indication. But yeah, some good work. Just to fight for some unusual map control early on the round. I love the yellow drop. Caught Cairo off guard. And then critically, as EP tried to re-aggress, tried to fight back that control, the likes of Jigsaw, Spiral, and Brendo eventually over towards yellow. They were ready. They were waiting. And they had a good read.
That's what you need, though. Look, Enterprise are great, but they're not impossible to beat. And they made pretty quick work of them in that round. 4 players alive as well for ANIOS, so it was a slaughter of a round. And that's a confidence builder then for ANIOS to suggest, well, look what we can do, guys. If we actually push in, take fights, we're aggressive, and we take it to them. These guys are great, but they're not, impervious to being kind of defeated. You just got to build that confidence, build that belief, and that's a big round to do it in the 5th round out of the tactical timeout. 1 more to go in the half.
5 seconds to go.
And then at the same time, not only is it a confidence builder for ANIOS, but Enterprise as a team, could you put them on tilt? Someone's going to test them at some point. The egos, the tilt, is that going to be a factor?
I think it's going to take quite a bit to probably reach that point for EP to get truly frustrated and for it to influence their gameplay, but it's not impossible. Still in a very commanding position though at the moment. Oh, 2 hand. Well, that's 1 shot. Landed onto the Monty. And hard bridge will force him back down through electrical. Jigsaw up above with good vert. Once again, looking to leverage the scope post, which has seen a few appearances in the half so far, and I think it's been rather successful in giving Jig just the versatility to be a little more aggressive than maybe he would otherwise be, and then the versatility, of course, of reflanking, repositioning. Currently inside of admin. Chef trying to dislodge him with the Command Hive launcher. Somewhat successful in forcing him back, but easier said than done to actually get inside of the building.
Only seconds remaining in the round. Still no contact again here in the 6th. Proxy is taken very low as Jigsaw finds the kill. Razor pushing down Spiral. As Bappin loses the battle against Chef Jeff, and elsewhere, Tuhan falls to the pistol as Shaz gets another one. The Monty is deadly with that pistol, and Wizard now allowed into server to get the plant down. ANIOS have been able to get plant down successfully. A Razor watching the flank as Brendo falls. It's only Jigsaw left. He does get a help of Bappin. 2v3 post plant, low on time. They clear out a Razor who was on yellow ping. Drop down into Visa now for Jigsaw. You do have to get past the Monty though in Shaz.
They need to try and isolate the Monty. Bappin's so low. Needs to be the sacrificial lamb himself to get info for Jigsaw, who actually jumps outside for the pinch. This could be big.
Got to do it, and got to do it quickly. Watching from a distance is Wizard. 13, 12, 11. There's just no time. You're not getting on that kit. Not happening. Even with that kill from Jigsaw, even with that ace from Jigsaw, there is no time remaining in the round.
Close. Very close. Mighty effort from Jigsaw, but not enough time remaining. 4-2 scoreline as we enter the roll swap timeout.
Burning bridges and falling stars. Purple skylines and broken hearts. Ain't no taking that to the moon. out here trying, but there ain't no room. No, good intentions will fall apart. Yeah. And they don't know about us. They don't know about us. Yeah. And we hold it down with our love. We hold it down with our love. Yeah. 'Cause it ain't perfect, and no it ain't. And we keep working every night and day. They don't know about us. Oh, I heard them say that it would be so hard. And I can't lie, baby, they were wrong. No, but if 1 + 1 is 2, it's true that you got me and I got you. Oh, nothing will ever keep us apart. No, and they don't know about us. They don't know about us. And we hold it down with our love. We hold it down with our love.
I don't know about that one either, guys. I'm not going to lie. We're not off to a great start with the vibe jam.
Fire and the thunder, we'll be with each other forever.
I'm waiting for one where we can actually jam out and be like, add that to the playlist. Either way, Team ANIOS were able to jam out towards the back end of the half. It's 2 in a row for them. Signs of life, and yeah, I wouldn't say doubts creeping in for Enterprise or anything, but clearly after the first 4 rounds, it maybe seemed like it was just going to be that runaway performance, but I'm never doubting Chef Jeff again, that's for sure. And they've been able to win 2 since their tactical timeout at the end of the 4th round. Of course, just barely holding on for the 6th round by basically 1 second. An insane performance from Jigsaw to even get those 2 kills. He goes to 11-1. 2-0 on entry as well. I think largely Enterprise are probably more than happy with the 4-2 half. They only need the 3 attacking rounds, which definitely are obtainable. But if ANIOS can make it 3 straight, this is game on territory.
Yeah. It feels like we're right on the border of this being competitive.
Well, we're on consulate.
On the precipice of it being competitive.
Yeah.
On the edge. The bans for this second half, Glaz, Monty, Denari, and Goyo. Some interesting additions, particularly from EP. Maybe trying to mitigate some of the trap-heavy nature that will counter their more high-tempo plays. So don't hate that. Ooh, nice work from Chef earlier to deny those Selmas. Both dumped by Brendo and both dealt with by the Azami.
Yeah,
and
good
Chef can now chill in that coffin position.
Good proactiveness from Chef Jeff. Okay,
Ooh,
maybe a
maybe
little
a bit too proactive.
Maybe a little too much. I think he was hoping that one was going to actually be repelling in on that window. It overextends and straight into the air jab, dead. Chef Jeff gives his life away.
Can't fault him for trying.
No, you certainly can't.
I think that's been one of their strengths. I haven't played ultra passive or scared in this matchup, which I think has been a testament to the kind of mindset that they and Chef explained to us in the interview.
I think a little bit in rounds 3 and 4, just a little bit. And then that's when
Maybe
they
some
called the
hesitance,
timeout. Yeah, and then they
Yeah.
called the timeout, and then the pace picked back up again, and they looked far more active. So I think they've gotten the picture. They can't sit back, even on defense now, and they're going to have to try and get into the face of Enterprise. Well, that's an opportunity. Cairo maybe wasn't expecting the swing over towards default, and does get a bit of damage into a Razor. Throws out his last flash, just so he can set up the air jab.
Raise a red ping, so forced back. As we see positions on the overhead there. In terms of plant denial here, it's a little lacking for ANIOS with no Tachanka, no smoke, only the single nitro. And Razor's position, of course, is now known to be pretty advanced. EP at this point with plenty of time and a decent read. Bappin as well lurking down below. All signs pointing towards a strong round here. Razor must hit this nitro. And it misses. Gets caught on the door.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think that was intended to go through the doorway.
Yeah.
Must have just hit the top frame and got stuck. 30 seconds remaining. Don't have to worry about that nitrocell anymore. You still got Bappin down below. Well, that was a kind of a trade as Cairo is downed from the swinging shotgun of a Razor. Shaz was able to eliminate Tuhan. Cairo being on the floor means it's a 3v3 heading into the last 15 seconds. Brendo dead again. He's 1-6, but it's only down to Wizard, who's 0-5. There's his first kill off the donut, and it's a 1v1 against Jigsaw, going for the res onto Cairo. This is ambitious. Wizard can get over and deny. Cairo's got no idea where Wizard's coming from. He gets the kill onto Cairo and then clears Jigsaw, who's still on the kit. What a play from Wizard. There wasn't a lot of time left there for Jigsaw in terms of decision making. He opted to get Cairo back up, but it just put them in a position where if Cairo doesn't hit an immediate cover shot, round's done. And to give a bit of leeway to Cairo, he's got no idea where Wizard's coming from. He doesn't know where to look.
Yeah, I think he turned late, but the HP deficit means that he needs to hit an absolutely nutty shot to win out that round. Started off decent for EP, catching Chef. The nitro missed from a Razor, but the swing was good. We saw EP split the push a little late. Top spiral was successful, and it put quite a bit of pressure on Wizard. You know, as you called
all 3 in a row.
Been finding it difficult, but yeah, I mean, from a team context, it's 3 straight. We said before, if they're able to achieve that feat, it does make this quite an exciting map. So let's see if it peters out from here or whether or not ANIOS can actually build upon it.
10 seconds to go.
And this is where the pressure's now on for Enterprise, right? Where it's like, okay, 4-0, you're absolutely dominating. It's expected. But now you got a challenger. That's 3 straight for ANIOS. 2 on the attack, now 1 on the defense as well to kind of start the second half. I don't think Enterprise would be worrying too much. Yeah, a clutch from Wizard. Previously a clutch from Shaz, technically, but it was just more the mistiming for the final round of the second half. So, like, of the rounds that ANIOS have won, 2 of the 3 have been right on the line. Like, absolute razor thin margin. I think Brendo will be wanting to get off that 1-6 scoreline though, but again, it's not as if you need him fragging anymore. I imagine he'll opt to play more of the supportive roles, even a bit more of an IGL focus.
Yeah, just get him on the vert. I think he's growing more comfortable in that role over time anyway. And in combination with Jigsaw and the Ram here, they should find some success, I think, in obtaining a bit more map control risk-free. ANIOS aren't contesting it all that heavily, though. When you look at their positions currently on the cards, it's very, very basement heavy at the moment. But maybe anticipating a little action over towards server side. You see the 2-stack that side with the garage breach still closed. I don't think that's the worst read. Although we now see the rotate potentially around here from Tuhan, and that will maybe start to transmit to the defense that server's unlikely. And with the vert as well in play, I think they'll start to connect the dots here.
I'm worried for time though, because you got the Tubarao on the board and you've still got to deal with the shockwire batteries from Proxy. Surely opening up this breach. Surely it's not. They got it opened already. Where's the Tubarao? 50 seconds. I mean, maybe because of the vert pressure above from Piano just not wanting to get close. But yeah, they've completely just given the front door over to Enterprise. Cairo pistol out on the blitz. Long angle gets rid of Shaz, who essentially AFK this round on the Tubarao. No Nitrocell, no Zoto canister, no shot. And Tuhan's just going to go straight through the breach. The plant will be successful. And even with Chef Jeff getting 1 and then now 2, surely this is still a very difficult proposition. Chef Jeff can see the kit from above. A Razor on the Solus. Would have been able to see it earlier. Chef Jeff just caught rotating back down. They just don't have the numbers or the positioning. That's a strange defensive round from ANIOS. Enterprise more than happy to oblige and take that one pretty comfortably.
Yeah, the staging in that round was quite good from EP. Didn't give away the plan all that early on. We saw ANIOS were committing pretty heavily over towards service side early, maybe still anticipating that push. And then with breach open uncontested, it was difficult because we don't see the 2 rounds POV persistently as to why the Zodas didn't work. And ultimately, the wall's going to probably get open anyway. Probably largely off the back of good ramvert and the sledge as well, making it difficult to progress forward and get within range. And then once you get in, you add in the flood that was also successful, taking down Double Nitro. Plants go down every day of the week, and even with Chef Jeff's heroics above, it was always going to be very, very, very difficult to get back down towards that diffuser. Good structures in place at the posts for EP. And so we return to a 2-round lead.
Yeah, 2 kills as well for Brendo in that round, just to probably have a bit more of a feel-good factor on the way things are performing for him individually. But a 5-3 lead, as you said, 2+ for Enterprise. Credit to ANIOS, though. They've made a contest here on Consulate. It's been really good to see. After the first 4 rounds, I'm just thinking, okay, this is just going to be like a 7-1, 7-2. And even if it does end up as a 7-3, I don't think they've lost any fans from this performance. If you're Team ANIOS, they've done some really nice things. So much confidence that you can take away from, kind of competing and playing a good close series against Enterprise. You'll look likely to lose, but you'll look back on things that you can improve on and say, well, there's also a lot that we did right. Don't get it twisted, though, because this map's still very much alive. ANIOS have been very proactive. As Enterprise pick up the pace, though, they want to just go straight in towards the site. Chef Jeff, Shaz will be the first to fall, even though Chef Jeff did at least get one onto Tuhan. Brendo 2 in the ground. It's technically 3 standing apiece.
It is Chef Jeff in a position where he can be picked up? Unlikely, given he is on the exterior.
He's crawling, he's trying.
You gotta get back in. Well, in the meantime, Karo caught. That was very aggressive. Punished, rightly so. Advantage, ANIOS.
Chef Jeff, of course, will bleed out. Adrenal Surge is at least handy for Bappin and Jigsaw. Jigsaw did get the down on Eraser, but Proxy times the swing. Bappin now in a 1v2. Well, he's got a pretty good operator to help locate these defenders. Razor is not going to get brought back up. Proxy's low on health. There's a minute in the round. Bappin, this is very winnable for him. Player of his quality. This is where Proxy and Wizard just have to play together.
Yeah. Bappin has a lot of time to problem solve this. Was able to pick up a frag grenade as well. Let's see if he can work his way through this one. And if ANIOS can play it compact. Not give away anything too freely. Again, the power of the snake on display. Being able to flush across now.
He's got a yellow ping. He's getting intel. 30 seconds. Doesn't have kit. Kit's very much with ANIOS.
Doesn't want to play into that mirror window there.
Honestly, to the point of the round where if ANIOS wanted to split here the 2, you could. Just so that if he does at least kill one, he maybe doesn't have the time to find and kill the second. He's got to go really quickly now. He has to pick up the pace. He's taking a little too long. He's on cam as well. 5 seconds left. Bappin has been very cautious in his approach, but he's given himself no real opportunity. Yeah, he never even had a chance to win the round.
Yeah, I think whichever route he ended up deciding to go to and the order in which he did it didn't help himself. It was just a little bit unlucky, right? He runs into the mirror, then he has to go the other way. There's banshees, there's default cams. Yeah, it was rough.
He had a minute and 10 seconds.
Yeah, I suppose, but
into the band's 4-5 scoreline as ANIOS are right in this game. Thorn and Ying banned out. The confidence would be sky high right now for Team ANIOS. Even saw the question mark from Chef Jeff at the end of that round, questioning Bappen's play as we head to CO and meeting.
Attackers need to locate
can they
and
equalize
as
then?
many bombs as they can.
That's the golden question. They're keeping EP pretty honest so far. And I think that would maybe start to flicker a little bit more towards pressure if they are able to mount that on the scoreboard. I think just having that at the top of their minds, the 5-5 scoreline would be a reminder that they have to show ANIOS respect. They have that strong, very strong Dark Horse label for a reason. They've been on the up back half of 25 and with promise heading into this 26th season. Yes, EP is stacked. They've got the best players, renowned coach, but they still have to do well on game day and execute. To be fair, they've been playing super poor. A lot of this has been ANIOS actually improving at quite a rapid pace over the course of the map, but EP need to be the ones to now be on the front foot and not be the ones playing catch up.
Just look a little bit susceptible at the moment. Jigsaw with 15. Surely this wouldn't be the old Chiefs Jigsaw classic where he drops 20 and they lose. Been a real solid team effort though from Team ANIOS. No one with 8 or more kills. 7 for Chef Jeff, 7 for Shaz, 6 for Eraser, 4 for Wizard, and 3 for Proxy. Oh, what an angle from Bapper, though. That is an incredible angle to get rid of Chef Jeff on the Azami. Hoping to kill for Enterprise. Needed that one. Timing on the swing for Jigsaw. If he had just gone in maybe a second later, he probably gets that kill while swinging in. Adrenal Search activated from Tuhan.
So admin across, and we'll see if EP are able to better formulate the plan here if default ends up being the primary option for them, standing in the way. ANIOS with double Nitro on this occasion, and cast our minds back last time Eraser missed his. Hopefully he'll be able to find the lineup this time, and if Wizard 2 can be in a position to have impact with his, EP may need to switch up their game plan late, dependent on what positions they may hold elsewhere. Bappen will persist down below. This is pretty typical to have the Deimos to disrupt against those Nitros and those anchors on the site. And they may even commit somebody elsewhere for the split push in through yellow. Time management good for EP. Now it's all about conversion. 50 seconds on the clock.
Yeah, don't leave too little time on the clock remaining. Even though it's a 4 versus 5, pressure from below. Bappen doing a decent job on the Deimos. Deathmark on the Proxy and got him to half health. Vending cleared out and Cairo towards default inside a meeting, but he can't get out alive. Double kill Nitro from Eraser. There is, though, the response from EP, but another Nitro has hit Jigsaw as he falls. It's Bappen in a 1v2 again, but instead of a minute, he's got 20 seconds. At least this time does have the kit in hand. Deathmark to go out onto Wizard. Up close, he now knows that Proxy is there as well. 9 seconds, does get the kill onto Wizard. Proxy running around. 5 seconds for Bappen to get this plant. Has to stick at default. Will there be time for Proxy to get over there? Indeed there will be, and he has him trapped in the corner. It's all down to the swing. Bappen hits with the Vendetta. EP get onto match point. This time Bappen clutches.
That's a massive clutch. The micromanagement there in the 1v2 to go for the death mark, to use that frag grenade for the dislodge, and then to ensure that he has his bases covered and then finds the kill as the swing executes, then follows that up by committing to the plant. But he created that space early. He knows he has the pocket to go for the plant, and it was successful. replay package of that prior round. He was also the one to kickstart it with a clean shot onto Chef. The defensive work from ANIOS and the util usage was great. Big improvement in that department with both Nitros landing, finding 3 kills total. But ultimately, Bappin able to hit the clutch. EP now with map point.
And well, into a rehost, unfortunately, as well, just prior to give us a little bit of time on Consulate to build up the tension. A huge round for Bappin, but the story right now for me in this game is ANIOS. It's got to be on them. They've only had 3 opening kills, guys, throughout this entire map. They've had 2 clutches, and they've been able to get 4 rounds on the board against this super power team in the Oceanic region. The rounds as well have been close at times. No more than that 1v2 clutch for Bappin. If he doesn't clutch up there, it would have been for ANIOS 5 of the last 6 rounds. Like, that's where it would have been sitting for Enterprise going into the last couple on Consulate. Huge clutch for Bappin. Do they get the job done from here?
Yeah, big question. Dicey round for sure, but now the onus is on ANIOS being able to respond and continue this map a little longer. Reho is currently in progress. I believe it was due to a missed tactical timeout call. And so we'll rebuild the lobby, get all 10 players back inside, and then that timeout can resume. I'm fairly certain it was called, of course, by EP, as ANIOS used theirs prior, if I cast my mind back to the first half.
Round. And that was where things turned. They won 3 rounds straight after that tactical timeout, 4 of the next 5, up until the round that we just saw play out with the Bappin clutch. Yeah, I mean, I think EP will know they've done a lot right in this game. Like, 10 rounds have been played. They've got 7 opening kills. They've got 2 plants down in 4 rounds. They've been able to have 4 rounds with multi-kills compared to the 1 for Team ANIOS. So a 6-4 scoreline, but you look at a lot of the numbers and it's just very one-sided. Like, it's actually, when we kind of look at the statistics, a dominant performance from Enterprise, but to the credit of ANIOS, they've just been able to keep digging away. It's very gritty. We're seeing like these double nitrocell kills and these big impact moments. Chef Jeff has been able to get 2 opening kills at various points, and they've converted on those 2 rounds that he was able to get those early picks. I don't even think the difference is Jigsaw, who's 16-5. Like, a lot of the kills that he's been able to get, most of those were back in the first half, and he got an ace in the round that they lost. How often does that happen? How often do you see a player get 5 kills but lose the round? It doesn't happen all that often, but it happened, right? Like, they don't even get a round win for those 5 kills. He had a 3K in a different round as well. So that's half of his kills came in 2 rounds, and one of those rounds you didn't even win. So he's put in obviously a great shift. He's been playing incredibly well. He's been the standout, but in a 6-4 scoreline, he's not the sole difference. And where I'm kind of trying to get with this, guys, is that it's just been so dominant from EP, yet ANIOS are clinging on, and that's the credit to that roster.
Yeah. Well, I can only assume that we're getting closer towards the resumption of this opening map. And indeed, we are just getting ready checks from the players, so it shouldn't be a couple of seconds from jumping into the action. Quick reminder as well, this is a best of 3. Consulate map number 1, the selection of Team ANIOS. Fortress up next, the selection of Enterprise. And if required, it will be Cafe as the decider. But I think it's pretty fair to say that if ANIOS aren't able to push this to OT, go on to win the opening map, it's tricky to envision a win on Fortress. Sure, yes, it's a newer map, so making predictions is a little bit more challenging. But I think just the confidence that EP, to me, are kind of showing in this video in a region where typically teams will hide maps until the very, very end, especially new maps. They must be feeling pretty good on that. So I imagine they'll get that result done into 2-0, but they still have to get this first map done. Chef Jeff and co have shown good resilience at times, and I don't think they're going to go down without a fight here off the back of what was a very close loss in that most recent round.
Well, I think that gone are the days of hiding maps at the very least. I'm sure there are certain strats that maybe still get saved, like very niche strats where you're like, oh, let's save that for a rainy day. But in terms of hiding maps, I think surely those days are gone. I think you'd rather actually show your strength on a map and say, well, we can play Fortress, you know, so you're going to have to ban that away, and we can play this map, so you're going to have to ban. And so when it's almost like a psychology thing, you get to the map veto stage and it's like, well, what do we play against EP? They can play everything. So then it just comes down to you probably end up wanting to play your own strong maps. Well, guess what? Because they can play everything, they're going to ban your strong maps. So now you're going to be playing on your mid-level maps, which may end up in turn being very strong maps for Enterprise. And so whereas if you're hiding certain maps, I really don't see where the benefit is. You go to an international event and you haven't played Fortress because you think you've been doing good in scrims. Well, to add extra information, well, scrims in this region are of great quality, right? It's been spoken about, it's well known. So there's literally no point to hide a map for a team like Enterprise and think, okay, well, we've got this map in the bank for international events. You go and play it against an SAL team or an EML team. They're going to absolutely roll all over you. So I think it's a really good decision for them to bring out Fortress in the next map to follow. And then that way you can also iron out the kinks. I'm sure there's going to be, you know, little things that they'll then be able to work on the map, just, you know, little positioning things or site operator selections, who plays where, all of those contingencies that get sorted out as you play it more often. And we're back underway. CO meeting will be the site choice for Team ANIOS. Apologize for the small delay.
Yeah, back in we go. I am presuming that the lobby there was manually paused so that the attack timeout could be taken. And so operating under that assumption, EP have had an opportunity now to have a chat about what their attacking strat will be into this, hopefully for them, final round. We return to top floor, so ANIOS are backing themselves in for the repeat. Last round was so incredibly close. The Nitro denial was perfect. It was a big heroic effort from Bapid in the 1 versus 2 to break the cross and clutch up post-plant. I do wonder if EP now go for an alternate strat here on this site. When you consider the operators that they're bringing, it may be indicative of a little bit more pressure over towards yellow side and CEO. And into this kind of lineup, lacking it a tanker or a smoke, it could be a valid plan.
Loading new magazine.
Well, after the 4-0 start for Enterprise, I really thought this was just going to be a pretty clean sweep match, and now that it hasn't been, I almost don't really want it to end. This is a good opportunity for Team ANIOS. I tell you what, though, they're really showcasing that they have the potential of making the grand final. Well and truly, this roster for ANIOS is looking really solid. They, of course, defeated Chiefs back on the first day. They're pushing Enterprise here in Consulate. If they do lose the series, they do unfortunately drop lower bracket and will have to be very good for what would be at least 3 best-of-3s in the lower bracket to then make the grand final as Jigsaw repels in towards admin. Seems like admin across will be the play again for Enterprise. It is the repeat bomb site for ANIOS after losing CO meeting to the clutch of Bappen.
Chef Jeff, key moment of the round. The tuck-in's unknown. This is a free kill. Fredo has no idea.
Oh,
but
he gets one onto a Razor. Chef Jeff up close, gets at least the trade. But a Razor does go down, and, well, straight into CO goes Tuhan. Up close, Wizard. Nitrocell should get the kill, and does. Good reaction from Wizard. He had the one and only Nitrocell. That's now Kit stuck over CO, but somehow Jigsaw wins that battle against Chef Jeff, traded though by Shaz, and it seems like we will get a little more action on Consulate down to Bappin and Cairo.
Wow. AP try and go for the sneak attack, and it doesn't quite work out. ANIOS are clued in and ready to go and now have the advantage. 40 seconds on the clock, 3 targets for Bappin. And then these two could certainly combine for a clutch attempt, but a wall of util standing in their way. It starts to look pretty rough for them from this point onwards, relying on another clutch. 30 seconds, Cairo down. Bappin, it's another.
Couldn't
1v2.
again. He couldn't again, could he? This time to win the map for his team. From one failed clutch attempt to then 2 straight confirmed from Bappin. Quickly becoming an all-star in this region. Well, he makes amends for a round in which he couldn't really get going with a minute in a 1v2. It's then clutch. Bappin is the sole reason why EP closed out Consulate 7-4.
They've come out windmilling like an Englishman looking for a scrap. But talking of a scrap, Pino!
If he goes uncontested and the kit goes cold, that will be devastating. The grenade goes through, that's the swing! Cyber and Bullet are able to get one apiece with the kit so far away, and Canadian down upstairs.
Cyber, wow, that was special.
It's a 1 versus 3 to hold, and they're pushing him from behind. He's found one. He's got to get the vertical as well. They get pulled off him. We're down to the last 3 or 4 seconds. Ryder's got another. He's held on. He's going to do it. And PSG take the 2-1 win.
Both players spotted, but the res can be made successfully.
Oh! Got another one for Solotov. Information from the bees. It goes in. Shotgun. W7s! They cement themselves as one of the greatest of all time.
He's starting to get cooked alive, Ollie, but he's using the stim pistols. Look at this from the dock. Surely not. Brilliant! That's play of the year in my book.
Plays the game, hits the old body, doesn't quite catch it. There's the impact.
He gets it!
There's the dash! He doesn't have the confirmation! He's going back, he's not quite sure. He
Nesk, you gotta
has
go.
a few seconds. Stick it, Nesk, stick it!
This is an angle that he might be able to contest. No, unfortunately, he takes just a bit of damage there. A walk, I guess, the second one. Eclipse, though, will get one, turning it into a 2v2. Now they push it on the side. The Bandit will lose out on this. Eclipse, the last alive on the Ella. Spots the head and takes him down. The ace for Waka.
He will down BC. Canadian positioning to pick up, but that's going to result in a double nade from Vertical. That's 4 for him in the round. Necroc's the final defender against Vertical. The ace, absolute domination.
You believe in magic, Michael. Team 1 does as they win the Mexico Major. has got to offer.
Well, speaking of what this region has to offer, it has Bappin apparently, the clutch minister. He may now be called after the last 2 rounds. And funnily enough, guys, it came after, of course, the potential clutch attempt the round prior to that in the 9th round where time ran out. He had 1 minute and 10 seconds in a 1v2. Obviously didn't make the most of that time, but then he made the most of it in the 2 opportunities that presented in the 2 rounds after that.
Yeah, he stepped up when it mattered. ANIOS were able to chip away at this match pretty confidently and build a streak at one point of 3 rounds consecutively, those being 5, 6, 7, but EP were able to fight. They called a timely tack timeout late in the piece as well, and yes, it was reliant on some big individual moments, especially from Bappin, and Jigsaw as well was hitting the scoreboard massively throughout that map, but I think a testament to the skill that these boys have, and as much as it hurts for ANIOS, that's the position they now need to fight out of.
Alrighty, well, we're going to head into Fortress for the second map of this series as EP were able to take away Team ANIOS's map on Consulate. It's not as if they're heading to a home favorite map or anything like that. They get an opportunity to kind of see where they're at now on Fortress. And so go into this still as the favorites. Nevertheless, ANIOS, though, to their credit and need to give them their flowers, I thought they played incredibly well in Consulate when they were 4-0 down first 4 rounds. You know, were pretty dominant, let's be honest. I think then they responded after the timeout. They won 3 straight, 4 of the next 5. Had an opportunity technically in those last 2 rounds that it came down to BAP and clutches that they'd probably feel like that 7-4 scoreline maybe isn't truly reflective as to how close that game actually ended up being towards the end. Certainly didn't start close, but I think it really did end close. That might give them confidence going into Fortress.
Yeah, maybe. Again, it's very difficult to assess on a map like Fortress, newest in the pool. We really don't have any knowledge that's public or outright, really, that these teams have on this map in terms of scrims, their opposition, how well they've been playing, what kind of strategies they're going to employ. Are they ripping strats from other regions? Have they got some new stuff to show? We really just don't know. So there is potentially a world in which ANIOS have left this through in the map pool with the expectation of playing it and playing it well. I still don't think that is the case, and it's more so EP looking to flex their muscles here on Fortress early and you know, play a pretty standard kind of meta that we've seen develop since SI, but we'll wait and see. We'll wait and see. Given that they're starting out on defense, there is that world in which ANIOS can try and establish some pressure. The bans for this first half, it is the Monty and the Glaz. Both are really phenomenal operators on breaking through some of the choke points here on Fortress. And then on the side of defense, it's the Bandit and the Kaid. It means that the clash persists. It's brought out in round 1. Wizard hiding that in the prep phase.
I have to imagine as well for Enterprise, they're probably more than happy that they're going to be attacking in this first half and getting to kind of test some things out. Defense on Fortress has been pretty rock solid across all regions. And so you don't really want a situation, I think, where you go like 5-1 up and then you kind of close it out pretty quickly then in the second half. This will give them a good 6 rounds on attack to see what they can do. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's like a 3-3 half, maybe even 4-2 to ANIOS. Razor with the opening kill on to 2hunt. Cairo also half health already on the blitz, and not a great start for Enterprise. Certainly a good one for ANIOS. All right, just through games dorms at the moment. This command bathroom is the site here in the opening round. Wizard got taken very low on the clash. He needs to now be very careful.
Yeah, big loss for EP though. The only hard breach available for them now in the grave. Big reliance on the likes of Karian being able to create space on the blitz. Split pressure probably going to be the name of the game, and then maybe if they can flare a bit of vert, that could work. Bappin currently down below first floor. This is going to be a tough challenge for EP. There is the blitz though, getting in on the action. Chef Jeff falls, and as seen prior, Wizard is very low on HP. It won't take much to find that kill either, provided you will have the protection of the shield, which will aid greatly, and there's no tick util necessarily from the attack that will be able to find that kill. Unless Bap does something cheeky with a shock drone, for instance, but even that's a bit of a Hail Mary.
Under a minute remaining. And there goes Proxy at the hands of Jigsaw. As Wizard low on health, the clash is not really going to be a fortified position. It should be relatively comfortable to deal with that later in the round. Cairo taken down. Knees were showing and dealt with by Shaz. Brings it back to 3v3. Bappin gets rid of a Razor, so no more gas babes as Wizard falls, and that's just quick succession. Jigsaw and Bappin combining at the end of the round. It's Enterprise that will kickstart Fortress with the round win. Certainly had to work for it. Some good moments from ANIOS, but EP take the first round.
Yeah, able to collapse onto that site really, really nicely. Once they were able to put Wizard in an awkward position, it meant that ANIOS couldn't really leverage that as much. And even despite some of the problems that we saw in terms of hard breach there from EP, ultimately those were alleviated with the kind of crossfires that they were able to establish. So credit for them in achieving that in round number 1. And honestly, it's probably a little bit scary for ANIOS, right? Given that they found the opening kill early into the round, primary hard breach, and even despite that, they still weren't able to convert the round.
Jigsaw's going to bring out the Solid Snake, accompanied by Bappin on the Deimos. Never mind, he will switch very last second onto the Twitch. And so eyes will be on Jigsaw as he moves throughout the building. Dorm's Game's second site. Jigsaw still at his very best heading into the 2026 campaign. 19-7. Across the two maps, 2-0 on entry, 3-1 on entry for Cairo, 1-0 on entry for Bappin. I have, for the most part, been able to win the majority of the opening duels, but was not the case in that previous round. Razor found the early kill on Tuhan.
No enemies detected nearby.
Like it says, no enemies detected nearby, but it does actually detect an enemy.
And with that, AP have a pretty strong read on the extension being deployed here from Proxy and Co. And Bappin now looking to action off that information and take the duel. And Proxy being flushed back here through bathroom. Ground out to be taken pretty swiftly from EP. More information gathered and relayed by Jigsaw. This is a lot of pressure mounting from EP.
Well, Proxy got to be so careful. He just gets caught out in the open. Jigsaw will put an end to him. Good pressure from the Snake. Jigsaw finds the opening kill halfway through this second round. Gets that radar back up again and wants to put on more pressure to the defense. What's Chef Jeff cooking up here, though? He's going to be careful because Tuhan's pretty close by, and he's just going to walk around the doorway. Chef Jeff immediately retreats. You can see him in the camera, basically screaming and calling out communications. But he does get back to briefing safely, and then finds the kill onto Jigsaw. Big little moment from Chef Jeff.
Yeah, 60 seconds now. It's a reset, 4-4. Still primary hard breach up, and Cairo very low on HP.
Oh, Jeffy.
Well, he's on a bit of a run of form here in round number 2. Difference makeup. 45 seconds now for EP to respond.
Checks outside. No one there. Exothermic. Boards bathroom to open up. 30 seconds. Advantage with ANIOS. Well, Bappin's been the man of the hour. Jigsaw's got the majority of the kills, but Bappin's probably got the most critical kills for his team. This time, though, unable to land a shot. And this time, Wizard on the clash. Far more impact. 1-1 as ANIOS are on the board here on Fortress.
Yeah, nice work there from Chef, given the license to be a little bit more aggressive. And it was tempered, and it initially finds information and then backs it up with a couple of kills. And then those on site spearheaded with the clash, showing good ankle work and not giving away freebies to EP.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as
1-1
many bombs as they
scoreline. Rotation back to command.
And again, as what we saw on Consulate, ANIOS are in this. And I think they've gotten that confidence to know now that there's not as maybe a big of gulf between the two teams as perceived, at least for these two and what we've seen so far. And at least in this match today, you know, you can make the argument with more time and on paper, EP should be far too good and all of those things. But we're talking about today. That's all that matters.
5 seconds remaining.
They've been right in this game. Looking at some of the numbers for the ANIOS boys, it's 11-10 for Shaz, 8-9 for Wizard, 10-11 for Chef Jeff, 9-11 for Razor. It's only Proxy that's kind of struggled a little bit. 4-10, 0-3 on entry, which is a big reason then probably why he's 4-10, because there's a couple of rounds he's not even getting an opportunity. But that's a decent spread performance for those guys, whereas for Enterprise, you had 20 to Jigsaw, then it's 13 to Bappen, and then Kyra is going even at 9-9, but it's been a struggle for Tuhan. He's 3-10. Again, there's not a lot of room on this team for all of the players on Enterprise to frag out and drop 10 plus each, but 3-10 for Tuhan. That means he has been certainly struggling in this series. And 6-10 for Brendo.
So a minute down then, as AP start to poise in position. I like this from Jigsaw. Over towards Reno. Although the barbed wire does compromise his ability to lurk forward uncontested or unknown at least to the defense. Bappen again, given the license on the Deimos down below to be disruptive. But as he tries to get the frag grenade for the confirm, it's Chef Jeff to have another big moment, confirm the kill, and with that opens up the window for the res, and that's a big flip to the way of ANIOS.
And I think that's just that little moment there where Bappen's so desperate to confirm the kill. He's got the down, it's onto the Azami. 100% understand that. Nothing wrong with that. But while it's all happening, credit to ANIOS just to understand he's really pushing this. He's still down there. We can get the kill. And they do that. The Voss Chaz just then so equaled up 4v4. Duhan with a decent angle. You can actually see quite a lot through sight.
I'm reloading.
Brendo just going to get peeked. Minute remaining into the round. Tuhan yet to find a kill here on Fortress. Same for Brendo. It's been a rough series for those two in particular. They do have Cairo with the black bit, so they can have shield v shield later in the round against Wizard on the Clash, who played it well in the previous round. And Razor taken low. Good clear from Brendo. Now up close, gun up from Cairo on the Blackbeard, but it's a wonderful play from Wizard. The moving and shaking Clash without the shield. 2v2. Chef Jeff, Proxy low, but Proxy, the headshot onto Jigsaw leaves it down to Tuhan. I mentioned him at the start of this round. 3-10 in the series coming in to this round. Now needs to go to 6-10. And he can't. Proxy headshot. Tuhan, nothing working for him as ANIOS take the lead on Fortress.
Yeah, massive kill there onto Cairo, who will feel a little bit hard done by to lose that swing. I think, to be fair, Brendo winning his duel against the shotgun up close probably evened it out somewhat, but ultimately Tuhan from Breach was unable to find kills. I think a testament to ANIOS and their ability to lean into the Azami, to fortify on site, to not give away anything for free. No cheap picks or angles were given. And ANIOS now in the lead, but how much of a lead do they really need on Fortress defense? We'll get an answer to that as the match continues. Unfortunate for Bappen as well. The Deimos early round as he tries to confirm the kill, then gets caught. Chef Jeff finding another moment, another opportunity to have significant impact. As for that Deimos, ANIOS not taking any second chances. It will be banned out for the remainder of the half, and that will maybe mitigate some of the strength that EP have been finding down below with those death marks. In terms of the vertical pressure that they're able to generate, and if they want to find it, it's going to be a little bit more challenging now. Clash as well, taken down by AP.
10 seconds to insert
This is definitely a good start for ANIOS, but I kind of framed it this way, guys, before. We said like even a 4-2 for ANIOS isn't probably the end of the world for Enterprise. Fortress is a strong map defensively, but they've been able to get 2 of the 3 opening kills. They've been able to deny any plant attempts from Enterprise as well. That's a really big win for them. You look back to the second half on Consulate, from the 5 rounds played, Enterprise were able to get 2 plants down successfully. Jeff 4-1. Say what you will about Chef Jeff over the years, but he's always been a very consistent player and a very confident player.
Swapping mags.
Doesn't overinvest in that position, just a little poke and prod on the defense as he moves around. Top floor by himself on the Mozzie.
Well, Chef Jeff is still lurking up above here, poses a threat encountering the vert plate on offer here from EP, but droned out and will be forced back.
Well, I like the fact he doesn't just go back down main. He actually still stays top floor. So they've droned him out, he's ran back, but now they don't know where he is again.
Yeah, positionally, he's been good here. But there's the flush and the fallback. Minute 30 on the clock. Top control EP. And Capital Utility deployed by the attack. ROUs to follow. REP looking to hit site.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they're 100%. As Cairo getting the plant down, Brendo was close by. ROUs can go out, and Proxy, though, gets the opening kill onto BAP, and it will be a successful plant. Cairo now goes shield up. Brendo finds 1. Tuhan again struggling. Now 1 and 4 as he lost the battle to Shaz. Cairo needs to be making the right decisions here, and he goes pistol out rather than shield up, and Proxy Shaz with those 2 kills leaves it down to Jigsaw by himself. Gets 1. 2 more required. Throws out a flash. Proxy's not going to move. He's got the cover. Jigsaw cannot hit the shot. Shaz certainly will. It's 3-1 ANIOS, and Shaz is loving it.
Oh, Jigsaw commits to the drop. It was a big commit at that point in time. Does not pay off. It's well locked down by ANIOS in the end. Successful retake, a 3-1 scoreline. And I think dismissing perhaps some of the doubts that I had as to how proficient they may be on this map. Again, there's an asterisk of how defender-sided this does end up shaping up, but they're putting their best foot forward at the moment.
Yeah, I'm expecting it to be a defender-sided map in this series even still. In fact, it really showcases the defender-sided nature of Fortress, just kind of currently. I think with time, and certainly by this time next year, those percentages will continue to come down. I think I referenced it sort of the other day. It's already come down about 5% from what we saw at SI, where it was like the mid-60s, or no, sorry, it was in the 60s, and now I think it's around 57% or something like that. Certainly by no means like the most defender-sided map that we've ever really had in the pool. It's certainly not in that kind of category. Just more a case of new map. Defense typically starts well on new maps, and then as teams and attacking teams figure it out, it starts to open up. We go to Dorms Games. But it is around the world completed for ANIOS. They dropped the opening round 3 straight since. And it's 3 of 4 with the opening kills. So what they've done really nicely is they're not presenting any early options for Enterprise to get an early pick. It is the nature of Fortress. It does, for the most part, have the defenders in and around the site. Outside of maybe one Romo, of which we saw Chef Jeff do that in the previous round. Still think 2 rounds for EP is all they need to set them up for the second half. And they've got 2 opportunities to do that here in rounds 5 and 6.
Jigsaw sees that the coast is clear, and he'll now make his move forward through Museum and able to reconfirm that it is in fact clear. As we have the privilege of the overhead, we can see this half is indeed vacated by the defense. Threat down below potentially from Chef with Nitro Cell in hand over towards Kitchen. So keep that in mind. He'll pre-place a Nitro for now. And with no IQ on the board for EP, that is a pretty large threat if they're able to find the timing on the side of defense.
Oh, wow.
Almost.
Jigsaw's lucky to be alive. He's on 1 HP. That's insane that he's even still up. And at the very least now, even though he's on... Look, that's still a big win for ANIOS. That's onto Jigsaw of all people. And they've just lost Tuhan again. He's now 1-5. That's his second opening death of the half. It's now 4 opening kills from 5 rounds for Team ANIOS. Skyro makes his way in towards the corridor. There's only a minute remaining in the round. ANIOS again just looking so well placed here defensively on Fortress. And Jigsaw, it's not like he now has the ability to run around and be aggressive. Immediate headshot anyway from Chef Jeff. EP are on the ropes here in this first half. They're about to be facing a 4-1 deficit unless Cairo and Co can bring this round back. He got one. Brendo then fell to Shaz without firing a shot. And still, it's a huge advantage right now for ANIOS into the last 30 seconds as the logic bomb from Bappen rings out.
Now they need to try and find 2 more kills before going for a plant, and that is easier said than done. The choke points are being exploited really nicely by ANIOS so far. It's 4 rounds in a row for a 4-1 lead. EP will quite eagerly be fighting for this next round, sensing that, yes, it's likely to be defender side, but 5-1 just leaves so little room for error.
Yeah, it certainly does. And all the confidence for ANIOS would be at boiling point going into that second half. If they're 5-1 up, they know that they can really bring the pressure to Enterprise. They have a couple of rounds that they've got banked that they can be aggressive, do some chaotic things, just something enough in a round that can kind of steal 1 and then you get to 6. Yeah, they've been really solid, really compact on the defense. Again, they're giving nothing to Enterprise here on Fortress, and that's the concern for me is that, you know, for Enterprise, I think they're a really, really good team. If you were to take them, if this were like Border and ANIOS were trying to play the doorways and the windows and things like that, I think Enterprise would punish that sort of defensive mindset, but you don't really play that way here on Fortress. It's more site focus, it's more compact, and that's where ANIOS have shown some really good strength. Cafe to follow after this. Need to note that as ANIOS are 3 rounds away from getting us to that 3rd map. If ANIOS were to win this series, surely they'd be favorites to make the grand final in the upper bracket. It would be ANIOS, Man Esports, and Shy Academy as the 3 remaining teams, guys. This is a huge game that's developing.
It's possible. I think we're still a while away from that, but it doesn't feel impossible. I think I would describe it as improbable at the moment, but it's not impossible.
Never want to doubt Chef Jeff again in my life, and he's 6-2. Shaz is 7-2. Again, though, yeah, you can put the dampener on it and say, well, defense is certainly going to be the stronger of the 2 sides. And you can see we've been kind of watching. Oh, that's an opportunity, and Jigsaw will take it. Finally, the patience pays off for Jigsaw and Enterprise. That little moment there over the last few rounds, we've been kind of watching and seeing them hold these sort of angles and just be given nothing. Well, this time Shaz gives his life away. Jigsaw was watching, ready. Advantage for EP, just their 2nd opening kill in this half, both of them from Jigsaw, but they didn't actually even convert on the previous one either.
In minute 20, hard breach opened. Quite a lot of utility that can be layered to cover plant here. 2 smokes from Brendo have Rayora gates as well that could be deployed, have a bit of coverage over towards cannon side. Make that work. Rest of the team will be patient. Still 2 gas babes available. Jigsaw almost with another kill. Gas babes now deployed again from a Razor. Minute on the clock. And Brendo falls on that pinch.
Oh no, he couldn't make that cross.
It's completely fallen apart, and Bappen needs to clutch again. Another 1 versus 2.
Technically, it was, I guess, a 1v4 to kind of begin with. He gets the 2 kills. Now 2 more left, 40 seconds. It's all down to Bappen. The difference between a 5-1 half and a 4-2 half is absolutely huge. in the grand scheme of things.
Flash.
As Wizard and Eraser will play together. And it was his final flash. He's just trying to figure out which is the best way to push. One done, one more to go. Up close shotgun though, Wizard. What have you got against Bappin? He turns the wrong way. Bappin gets the freebie, shoots him in the back. He's done it again. The clutch minister of this region.
Whoa.
Yeah, we need a new radio DJ person. I'm going to just formally fire them on the spot. We need to do something different. This is just, it's not working. It is not working. I need suggestions. We need, like, forget the poll of, like, whether this is in the playlist. We just need straight up actual polls of, like, vote for songs that are, like, actual songs. I'm losing my mind here.
I don't know. That song's pretty hype after the Bappin 1v4. Well, anyway, here is a replay back of that last round of the half. Completely fell apart. EP capitulating in the final minute. And then Bappin, a snappy 2k. Then had a Razor and Wizard isolated. 1v2 gets the first and the footstep bait onto Wizard, who looks the wrong way. And it's another big clutch from Bappin. In the context of the map and the series, a 5-1 looked pretty dire. Sure, again, it's probably going to be defender side, but it's so little room for error. Now they've at least given themselves a chance where if the tertiary, for instance, goes astray, it's not going to be as impactful.
Yeah, and getting that round win as well, super important just for probably the mental for Enterprise too, to not feel as if things are kind of going against them. Down 5-1, their map pick, clearly trying to try things out here on Fortress. And yeah, 4-2-half, I kind of touched on it before we even got underway in this map, because of the defender-sided nature of Fortress is probably about right. But ANIOS will probably feel like they could have and should have been at 5-1. Into the second half, they'll get their opportunity now on the attack. Jazz will go on to his shields. Very good shield player.
So what do ANIOS then have to offer here on attack? It's the Blitz straight up here over towards Tower Stairs, but being contested immediately by EP.
Good angle.
Ari dealt with, and yeah, clean from Chef Jeff. He's had some very clean moments so far here on Fortress. Impactful kills across the board.
And that's now 0-3 on entry battles for Tuhan, 1-7 overall. If he's not on tilt, he's actively trying to avoid being on tilt. It's one or the other, guys, like, because this has been a horror show for him on Fortress. And it's giving ANIOS another early advantage. They've absolutely dominated the early battles here on Fortress. Cairo gets rid of a Razor. Jigsaw doing what he does best as he gets the kill onto Proxy. And it gives the advantage over to Enterprise. Not what ANIOS needed after finding the early kill, which would have given them a great start to this second half. Fall away from Brendo. Talk about the timing as he was getting aggressed upon. Wizard taking a bit of damage over towards Renault. And holds a very tight angle. Falls away. Under a minute remaining here to kickstart the second half as Enterprise look to lock down the site. More damage into Wizard.
So 45 seconds on the board. Shaz must find value, but he is in the grave. Chef Jeff, another kill, but quickly dealt with. Good work from EP. Confident start to defense.
Yeah, I mean, big round from Jigsaw. And I kind of mentioned back on the first map of Consulate, like, he dropped 17 kills. He probably wasn't the sole reason why they won. You could make the argument it was probably because of Bappin, to be honest, in the end. But I feel like his kills here on Fortress are having far more of an impact because the game and the rounds have been probably far closer in general, and they didn't get that, you know, fresh 4-0 lead. He's certainly having far more impactful kills as he's now crossed double digits. He's up to 10, first in the lobby to do so. Chef Jeff pretty close behind him with 9. That was his first multi-kill round as well, with 3 in that round, and needed it. Yeah, Chef Jeff gets the opening kill. Tuhan again goes down early. A little bit of a scrap in the middle portion of the round, and that's when Jigsaw was doing his best work. So a big round from him. And honestly, right now, the big strength of this Enterprise roster in the 2 maps has been you've got Jigsaw doing a lot of that sort of brute force. He's getting a lot of kills. And then you've got someone like Bappin who's kind of finishing off a lot of that work and clutching and winning 1v2s and 1v3s. So you've kind of got someone who can start really well and someone who can end really well. And then the rest can kind of slot in and around them. They really do need Tuhan to kind of fire up a little bit, though. 1-7 here on Fortress. 4 and 15 for a 50 EPS across both maps. Player of his quality, you don't see this too often.
Yeah, he had a bit of a rough go of things in terms of the primary hard reach back in that first half as well, but a tricky role to play on a map like Fortress. So again, over towards Tower Stairs. It's Shaz on the Blitz. And it's Bappin to play first contact, but he falls back. Jigsaw not as easily initially, but you can see just how more proactive this defense is in comparison to ANIOS. It's not too much more risky, but they're able to get a little bit more value, waste a fraction more time, and those small percentages can compound over time and just drain that clock. And still ANIOS finding it tricky to fight their way forward. Jigsaw doing his best to not overpeak. Chef Jeff eager to contest. But Jigsaw will retreat alongside Bappin.
Logic Bomb doesn't really net too much for ANIOS, but they can take a bit more space. The Shaz continues to try and push forward. They are playing behind and around this Blitz shield. The smoke goes out, and Erase is going to be a power play later in the round. Still 2 more smokes with Shaz. Logic Bomb as well, so decent utility for the attacking team. Still remains a bit of feet damage from Jigsaw onto Shaz. He's proving to be the nuisance at the moment. Oh, he's got to be careful though, crossing this window. Luckily barricaded. Shots fly around him, but not through him. 60 seconds left.
Bappin.
Oh, nice Nitrocell. That is a wonderful Nitrocell. There you go, Tuhan. That's a big way to get your second kill. Right over the top of Bappin. And gets it onto Wizard. Razor, though, does end up clearing out Bappin's position. Does take a bit of damage for it. Chef Jeff will fall to Jigsaw on the move over towards Dorms. And again for ANIOS, outnumbered when it comes time to actually hit the site.
And with the clash still standing, this is looking increasingly difficult for the attack. The guys to go forward, but the shield now standing. Can Shaz get in a position to plant?
Don't have any smokes to play off for the power play on the Glaz either. He's just kind of dry swinging it. Jigsaw ended up getting rid of him. He gets another one as well. Jigsaw doing what he does best, just carving through the opposition, and suddenly it's now 4-4. No surprise, really, when we considered this was going to favor the defense. It certainly has been the case. Only 2 attacking rounds have been found on Fortress so far, both of those from Enterprise. As they start 2-0 on the defense in the second half, forces a Team ANIOS timeout.
Well, at least so far. Again, we haven't seen the tertiary just yet, so I won't come to a full conclusion, but it does feel like it is going to be very defender-sided, and if that is to be the case, it's very favorable for EP. They've looked rock solid here in denying early map control for free. They're peeling back efficiently and providing really good pressure. They're not having to take massive risk. There was a little bit of it in that round, like Bapid's advanced position, and 2E there's a big reliance on him hitting that nitro, but when they need to answer the call of providing a bit of aggression and executing, they are doing that successfully. They retained the clash nicely late. I anticipate that to probably be banned out after this round. And so overall, it's been good work from EP, but this is the real tester, and likely why the attack timeout was called on the opposing side is let's lock in ANIOS. Let's try and find a way to win this tertiary and apply some pressure back. It's a very difficult site to maintain control. Holding Vert up above is tricky. It's powerful, but it's very, very difficult. So retakes may be on the cards. I like the lineup here from EP in terms of the clash with the castle, for instance. They can look to extend horizontally a little bit more, and I think that's probably going to be the game plan for them, is to establish a big footprint on a wide portion of the map and maybe not play as heavily up above, but leave that as an option late, especially with the likes of the Solus available.
10 seconds to insertion. 5 seconds left.
Well, last time you think back that ANIOS took their time out on Consulate, they went on a 3-round winning streak. You know, if they can do that again, they could potentially take this out, but I can't envision it happening on the attacking side. So round number 9. Go to Waiting in Cafe, which we only saw once in the first half. It was successfully defended by Team ANIOS. And that was in a post plant as well. Big round from Shaz as he got 3 kills in that round. I think this is going to be the site on Fortress where you can certainly have a little bit more roam options. This will be Jigsaw on the Solus. 13-6, and across the 2 maps now, guys, he's crossed 30 kills. 4-0 on entry as well.
yeah, it's certainly been impressive. Big numbers. But not just a solo effort from EP this afternoon. It's been pretty well-rounded, and some highlight moments from others, namely Bappen. Minute 45 remaining in this round. And it's top floor control and presence and focus from ANIOS. But that was the game plan from EP. They aren't contesting above. They're not investing utility there on the vert. It's purely horizontal. Then likely with the potential for late flanks and retake potential up above later on in the round, either during the plan or in the post. And that's where the Solus is primed and ready. That's the game plan from EP. So it's all about seeing if they can stall out the plant attempt or even deny it. And then they should be in quite a commanding position if Solus is unaccounted for.
Well, Brendo's got to be careful. He just gets poked a little bit and he's not quite sure where from. Not a lot of time left in this round for Team ANIOS. And need to still be mindful of Jigsaw up on this second floor. Same with Brendo as well, main stairs. Cairo up close, got blinded, but Shaz went down to Tuhan. Good cover from Tuhan to help out Cairo. The teamwork is there. Good synergy for Enterprise. Jigsaw got rid of Chef Jeff, cleared him out, and he goes to 31 kills now in the series. He does fall to Eraser. Keeps this round alive for ANIOS. Cairo is very much stuck inside of Infirmary. Help from Bappin. And Cairo can go shotgun back up, and Bappin finds another one. That could have been Cairo's, but he just got shoulder tagged, and he was low on health. Wizard for his own potential clutch attempt, but 10 seconds left. Tuhan is back. A big couple of rounds from Tuhan after he started 1-7. He now goes to 4-7. And for Enterprise, 5-4, as they've now made it 4 rounds straight.
I can't help but shake the feeling that that is maybe the unofficial endpoint of this match, with EP now being able to rotate back to the primaries and how strong they've looked across this defensive half so far. We need to see a big switch up from ANIOS. And when we theorize that that could maybe come off the back of the tack timeout, as we saw in Consulate, but unfortunately that conversion has not landed this time around, making it even more difficult. Additional bans for the remainder of this half. It's Mirror and Blitz, so the clash will remain, but not here for round number 10. EP in a strong position, even if the scoreboard probably at least suggests, if you are just tuning in, that it is very, very close, and it has been at times, just given the circumstances around defense plus primary sites and the way and the fashion in which this has played out so far, where it's been largely dominated by EP over the last couple of rounds. It's going to have to be a big shift from ANIOS. Yeah.
10 seconds to insertion. 5 seconds left before insertion.
I mean, they've shown back on Consulate that they, kind of have the ability to do that. And on both sides, they got 2 attacking rounds on Consulate, they got 2 defensive rounds on Consulate, and it was on defense Consulate where they kind of gave up those clutch rounds to Bappin. And Fortress attack is clearly proving to be a whole different beast. Still, 9 rounds played, only 2 attacking rounds found, but those in the first half. And again, this is the difference between that Bappin clutch at the end of that first half. If he doesn't get that clutch, it's by 4 the other way still. So you still got more room and more time. But at 4-2 now, of course, they've given up the lead, and there's no more time now. It's go time for ANIOS. They have to get on the board here. Otherwise, they're in that 6-4 situation again, as the Nitrocell avoided for the most part, but a bit of damage onto Wizard. But they've just kind of ground to a halt here in this second half. 3 alive, 4 alive, 3 alive on the defense for Enterprise. Like, none of the rounds have been particularly close. The opening kill times have dropped off massively in the last 2 rounds. 55 seconds, 45 seconds. In the first half, no opening kill was under the minute mark.
So the Blackbeard then posing questions of the defense, but generally speaking, EP have been dealing with these shields pretty effectively and efficiently so far. And so far, it's shaping up to be a pretty similar attacking approach here from ANIOS, which I can't help but feel is going to favor EP. Razor, their point of difference with the Ying and the Candela's cooked on the backside, but he doesn't action off the back of that directly. Shaz continues to posture. 70 seconds on the clock, so time not a massive concern. And still a decent pocket of util that can be laid here by the attack. But EP are not being massively pressured, and with that, I see Wizard fall. Diffuser on the ground, 4v4.
And that was 4 kills in a row for Tuhan, so good for his own confidence. Deserved pushing through what's obviously not been one of his best series of all time. Proxy catches Kyra in the back. What not the board? Bapper losing his battle to Proxy as well. And suddenly, ANIOS have been able to open up an opportunity in this 10th round. 3 versus 2. But of the 2, one of them is Jigsaw. They have at least dealt with the Clutch King in Bappin. Oh, Chef Jeff headshot onto Brendo. Jigsaw has 25 seconds to navigate a 1v3. The Blackbeard is the biggest nuisance, as Chef Jeff can go for the plant inside of Commanders. There's nothing Jigsaw can do to stop that. Plant will go down. Shaz again takes another bullet to the toe, but he's kept himself alive on the Blackbeard and done a really good job of keeping Jigsaw at bay. Now watching is Proxy. But Proxy gets his head ripped off. And Jigsaw should know that Shaz is low. Couple more shots. Oh, and a flick turnaround shot onto Shaz. 1 versus 1. Surely it can't happen again. Sheffy Jeffy taking on Jigsaw. 18 on the clock in the post plant. Jigsaw's going to get on it. Force Chef Jeff to get close. Flash thrown out. Jigsaw's full white. No time. The air jab as well. And Jigsaw runs out of time.
Good work from Chef. Wow. And you can see how much it means to them to get a close round across the line. I love the confidence and the bravado in which they went sort of through the late round there. Some straight up shooting really got them across the line. Some really good pinch efforts over towards Kyrie's position, for instance, and hitting some nice drive-bys to put themselves in a spot where they could recover the round and go for the plant. Blackbeard stayed alive as long as possible as well, and that certainly helped. Timeout in response from EP.
Bro, the tack timeout music's better than the halftime music. Ballet Tuhan has gotten the last 3 opening kills, so that's been a big reason for his form uptick in the second half. Good for his own confidence. I don't think Enterprise is going to be sweating by any means. It's a 5-5 scoreline. They're on defense. Okay, he dropped that one. Big ups, Chef Jeff. He's always capable of a pop-off round. He gets 3K. It's his first multi-kill round of the series. We look back at some of the highlights. Again, Tuhan getting the opening kill. And then really it was just this kind of point in the round where I think over the course of the 2 maps that have played out, and clearly there's been 20-something rounds played, usually it's Enterprise that win these kind of scrappy battles in the mid-round where it's a 3v3 or whatever. But yeah, credit ANIOS were able to get on top this time. They prevail. Chef Jeff goes 12-6. And he has now hit the 20 bomb mark in the series. The second best fragger, actually, only behind Jigsaw. But he's 13 kills behind Jigsaw.
10 seconds left.
So tactical timeout will conclude into round number 11. Who can put themselves in the best position to close this one out in regulation. It's another primary side on offer, though, for EP to try and flex their muscles. Again, they'll establish an extension on the opposing side of the map, on that tower side of the map. And then peel back. They may look to ramp up that aggression even further, though. It's been pretty tempered so far. I don't think they've really been pushing the limits all too much, and maybe not sensing that they need to really do that this time around. I'll sweat. Proxy getting to work with those Roteros, looking to chip away at utility. And Shaz here, with the drone ahead of him, maybe will look to drop Old Tower early here and start applying pressure closer towards this side. It may not be any kind of map clear, as you can see the positions of the attack currently, and the question then will be, to EP read into that and respond accordingly?
Such a big round for Team ANIOS. 10. They get to 6. With the OT at minimum. The entry in. Chef Jeff is blinded as he sits into that smoke. He obviously wants to get his vision back to see if he can go off this power play, and he does get Brendo in the back. Big play from Chef Jeff. Sat the smoke, didn't panic, waited for the flash to expire. Cairo falls to Sheffy Jeffy as well. He's on a heater. 14-6. He is locked in right now in this 11th round. And the ANIOS have been able to really now test this site against EP. Dawn's Games is so vulnerable. And Shaz will walk straight into games and go for the plant. Where is the response from Enterprise? It is non-existent. It's a snatch and run job. But Tuhan with a huge headshot swing onto Chef Jeff gives them respite, gives them an opportunity as Bappin gets involved. The Clutch King's still alive, and a chance always then for EP. He falls to Wizard, leaves it down to Tuhan. But he falls to a Razor. That's 6 on the board. ANIOS have got match point.
Wow. That was a really nice attack. I mean, we question what are EP doing there in terms of being able to deny the plan. And I think credit to ANIOS, there wasn't really much they could do with the smoke layered, the crosses held, and the Glaz critically in play. It meant that swinging into that was a death trap. They had to wait for the util and then had to wait to enter the post, and they had initial success. But because they lost so many members prior, the win percentage was dramatically reduced. Good direct attack from ANIOS. I love that approach. Instead of having to chip away and waste time and grind their way through all that utility, they, with the Glaz not banned out, were able to leverage that. And map point now theirs.
Pressure's on Enterprise here. Their map pick, their opportunity to get a taste of Fortress against a pretty decent opponent in the Oceanic region, and they've been well and truly tested. Chef Jeff has put in a wonderful performance, but it's not just him. 7 each for a Razor and Shaz. Proxies with 9.
5 seconds to insertion.
Is Cafe on the cards or overtime?
Defuse a bomb.
Well, AP continue to mix it up, and they go over to waiting and Cafe for the final round of regulation, not wanting to repeat their prior efforts on Command and Dorms. So an intriguing decision. How aggressive are they wanting to play offside? Early body language from Jigsaw here suggesting very aggressive, and I think he has just been misdroned, if I'm hearing that drone correctly. Wizard. Yep. Oh. I think it was a misdrain. If Jigsaw has not moved an inch, that had to have been a misdrain. It was a little tricky to tell, but yeah, it must have been.
Absolutely was.
No,
but it's
Jigsaw.
But it's a Blackbeard. Good guard break. And a good response from Shaz. Opening pick for ANIOS in the map point round. And now full well have all the confidence in the world that they can take a map off Enterprise and send this to Cafe and give themselves every chance possible of pulling off a huge series win. Job's not done, but you get rid of Jigsaw, and that's a big body off the board.
Sure is. Opens up the gate now so they can get to work on the vert with the Ram. We've seen that already deployed by Proxy. And now it's just about going methodically through this checklist. Start to gain information on the site. Try to think about where the endpoint is for the plant. How to want to layer this utility. A lot of it probably preset. Or at least they have some kind of read as to what they already want to go for. Oh, and Bappen falls as well. That was the Warden. I was just about to mention the impact that he may be able to have in countering this Glaz, which continues to pose problems for EP, whose chances here on Fortress are now very much up in the air.
Smoke's out and they'll look for the drop. As you said, it's looking very likely that we go to Cafe unless there's another clutch attempt from EP. Kara got one, and then Tuhan gets his own. Plant will be successful, so Shaz can go shield back up on the Blackbeard. They've still got Proxy up above in Dorms as well. And Chef Jeff able to get rid of Cairo. But he does go down, so 2v2. But EP need to be wary of the time and need to play with pace here. And the fact that they still need to deal with Proxy is a concern. And Shaz, low on health. Proxy, good cover from above. Tuhan tried to go direct. Brendo, so much experience, so much knowledge. But no chance in this one as ANIOS take the map against Enterprise. The new kings of the region are being pushed to the limit. All 3 maps are required in this series.
Yes sir 先の景色 You and me 終わらないじゃない You know やればできる誰でも言い訳ない Cause it feels alright You gotta yeah you just my type 型破り本物よ乗せてあげるキャディラック in the back Tick tock tick tock 戻らない This feels amazing Tick tock tick tock 振り向かないゆっくり行こう何かが missing 何か教えて聞かせて listen 別に気にしない手が首おいで通り噛みつかない全力で来てみな Can't say still Still check in the morning Assume nothing's ignoring Yeah ちゃんと決めろ Do it right 自分のため Live in the moment Say hi はいらない退屈ボーイには Bye bye I never hear the ring when I work Cause it's telephone off Oh no You call it You call it I'll get down Call it You call it You call it I'll get down Call it You call it You call it I'll get down Call it You call it You call it Never let him get you down. Gonna make you stay just fine. 이대로 모자라지도 넘치지도 않아. 'Cause I got my collection. 따뜻한 물에 bathe. 향기 가득한 로션 촉촉해줘. My cocoa bomb. Oh, I don't care what they say. I like it, I go la 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 la. I like it, I just want. Oh baby, say it and make it a day brighter day. I like it, I go la 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 la. I like it, I just want. Oh baby, it's alright to be right. Goes on and on and on, yeah. Detour 한 개 하얀 벚꽃만 바랬던 날. 꼭 그랬었길 바랬던 예전 소원 이룬 날. 너의 문자 사탕 같은 말. 숨길 수 없는 payday. 고소한 coffee, yes, could go on and on. Collect them all. I don't care what they say. I like it, I go la 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 la. I like it, I just want. Oh baby, say it and make it a day brighter day. I like it, I go la 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 la. I like it, I just want. Oh baby, it's alright to be right. Goes on and on and on, yeah. 사라질까 두려워, fight for it. To make it stay just fine, yeah, yeah.
He gets him just in time! It is Impact Norman! They are the best that this region has got to offer.
Well, we return for the third and final map of this series. As Team ANIOS able to take the map pick of Enterprise on Fortress, doing so in a 7-5 fashion. They won the last 3 rounds straight, guys, to close out Fortress just when it felt like EP probably had it. They had won 4 rounds prior to that, straight Enterprise. And then all of a sudden, I believe that was actually, again, the timeout for Team ANIOS, and they just rattled off 3 straight.
Yeah, a remarkable performance across the board. There were big moments from some of the key hitters from both teams. Another big couple from Bappin specifically, but of course highlighting the victors of the map, Team ANIOS. Chevy Jeff was leading the charge, able to net 16 kills and also 3-0 entry. He was doing it all. The Glaz was super devastating towards the tail end of that map. Enterprise did not have any answers. They eventually brought the Warden. Again, it wasn't impactful. So perhaps regretting letting the Glaz slip through the cracks. But either way, map 3, I can't believe we've made it to the third. It's Cafe Dostoevsky. Let's see which one of these two can take the dub.
Yeah, and the pressure's on now for Enterprise, because if they lose this, they drop to the lower bracket. They'll have to then be perfect all the way through if they are to make the major. They would be giving up their second chance already. And it would mean for Team ANIOS, if they win this, you're into an upper bracket final where your upper bracket final opponent will not be Enterprise. It'll be either Man Esports, Rock LFO, or Shy Academy. And they'd probably go in as, I'll rephrase, they will go in as favorites against any of those three in an upper bracket final. They would then be in a grand final if they were to win that for a chance at the major. Can we get Chef Jeff to a major? If it's going to happen, winning this map could go a long way in making that a reality. Enterprise, defense first up. ANIOS, they've got the momentum.
Attackers need to locate.
Yeah, they sure do.
Bombs.
I think the question that hopefully we'll get answers to within the first few rounds is, has that developed cracks in the mental of Enterprise? It's clearly been a big focal point for Mag as head of the team. It was a discussion point in the interview last play day, is with so many skilled players on the team, and no doubt the ego and the confidence that comes with that, which of course can be great when utilized correctly, but it can also lead to friction if it does encounter problems. So let's see if that is the case. Let's see how switched on they are in the first couple of rounds, and if they've been able to set aside Fortress. I think the fact that it is the newest map in the pool and it was rather competitive, that they should theoretically, especially heading back to a map like Cafe, not be too deterred, but it might knock their confidence just a little bit. And ANIOS clearly, again, with nothing really to lose in this matchup, they're probably sky high in terms of confidence at the moment, and are looking to play upset.
I'm sure Mag would have obviously spoken with the team throughout that break for Enterprise, just kind of refocus them, keep them with task in mind. But for Team ANIOS, it's just a matter of, boys, we can do this. We just took a map off these supposed best team in the region. One more map to go. And regardless of Fortress, and Consulate itself could have easily been a Team ANIOS win if it wasn't for those Bapper clutches. So really across the two maps, considering the map win for ANIOS and then probably being unfortunate to not close out Consulate, yeah, they've been in a really, really good position. This has been a very close series. I think EP might just kind of keep things a little compact to begin with in the first few rounds. Just get a feel, a test for how ANIOS want to play. Brando, the pretty important position towards washrooms, hits the headshot onto a Razor. That's a good start for him. And Tuhan started really slow in Fortress, but he got some form back towards the end of it. That was a good sign for EP. We'll see if he can carry that form into Cafe. Brando will fall back now as Enterprise, with that early advantage, can now very much focus their attentions back over towards reading and Fireplace. They'll probably just keep cocktail control, White Stairs, and allow ANIOS to now push up through Cigar along with Bar.
Yeah, still a lot of info gathering potential up here for EP, namely Cairo down below on the pulse reading. He's feeding live info across for those on the White Corridor extension, and gets a kill of his own with that Nitro Cell. With that, it's very much looking like EP will get the opening round here on Cafe, and maybe dismissing doubts that their confidence hasn't been shaken.
Well, I like that call because you could see when we were watching Brando at White Stairs, he was prepared, he was peeking. As soon as that Nitro Cell connects and gets the kill onto Shaz, he just understands it's back to sight. 30 seconds, 5v3. I don't need to peek. I don't need to be here anymore. A really good fallback. Enterprise understand they got a significant advantage, that they can go back, play sight, And yeah, as you said, it really should be formalities from here. 3v5, 15 seconds. Kit was reacquired by Wizard. Probably will play the drop, but Jigsaw's already in best position. Somehow doesn't get that kill. He'd like to have that moment again. It won't really matter in the long run. Chef down the hallway. Does get one. Proxy got one as well. But again, with no time, Proxy cannot clutch this round. To the credit of ANIOS, they were actually able to get quite a few kills there in a 5v3 and bring it to a 1v2, but ultimately never really in a position to steal that round win.
No, not really. Look, they didn't give up. They didn't go down without a fight, and they were willing to send bodies in and try and produce something. But yeah, damage already done. 2 initial picks going the way of EP, and the tertiary site selection up first has paid dividends nicely for them and just gives them a little bit more versatility now in terms of site selection going forward. They'll double down indeed actually here for round number 2, heading over to mining and dining. And so probably anticipating much the same in terms of a top floor presence and peel. Layer some of that utility up above. Very trap heavy here from EP, so probably sensing that they might be a little susceptible to lurks on this site. And for ANIOS, a key decision for them now is going to be, do they continue to persist with the Glaz? They know that it was very successful back on Fortress. If they've identified this lineup, they'll know there's no Warden in play. And so Chef will commit to that Glaz once more.
Chef, of course, was the big proponent back on Fortress. He went 16-8. And you kind of touched on it, but the Glaz play was very pivotal. And so far, looking to bring that in the first 2 rounds on Cafe Attack. And Jigsaw goes for the drop, and he gets the kill onto a Razor. The jump out works for Jigsaw. Another opening kill goes the way of Enterprise to kickstart things on Cafe. Drop into top red stairs for Shaz on the Monty. Does give them finally some building control of some kind.
We can push forward.
Cairo still sitting bar. This is a very risky play for Cairo.
He does have some support though from Jigsaw, so he's not completely on an island, and Jigsaw can play this initial fight and then drop hatch if.
Oh, I don't think he got drawn down either.
No, he did. He did.
I did?
Yeah.
You sure?
Cairo didn't.
No,
but you talking about Cairo.
I was talking about Cairo, yeah. I mean, obviously Jigsaw got drawn down. He also shot it, but yeah.
Well, Jigsaw definitely was, and Cairo certainly wasn't. And so with that, EP able to net that kill, and again, they get an early advantage.
2-player advantage again for Enterprise. So far, so good on Cafe defense. It might end up being yet another map where, of course, defense is going to probably prevail for the most part. Haven't really had an opportunity in the early portion of these rounds for ANIOS. They're just losing players too quick, too early. So far, EP have played both second floor sites well. And this is where, this is almost textbook copy-paste from the opening round. Yeah, 2 picks, fall back, play site, under a minute left. This time, Jigsaw, bullet to the hand of Chef. Well, over the previous round, it got a little dicey towards the end. This time, it's flawless as Enterprise have been able to look very dominant to begin on Cafe in the opening 2 rounds.
Yeah, I think it's a positive sign that they've been able to refocus and reconvene over the course of that break. I can only assume that Mag has played a significant role in just refocusing the team and getting them to essentially forget Fortress or take learnings from that and reset mentally here for the 3rd map. And they haven't really missed a beat so far in the opening couple of rounds. They're finding opening kills with a breeze, really. And then the anchor work site late has been refined even further, where in round 1, they let it slip maybe a little bit towards the end. Not that it was impactful, but round number 2, they were incredibly strong. It's showing good versatility in terms of the kind of sites that they're willing to play as well here on Cafe. So essentially a perfect start for EP. Now to Kitchen for round number 3, and the onus now has pretty quickly shifted towards ANIOS to see if they can tap into some form.
Well, they got to make these rounds more of a contest. That's the first step.
Yeah,
you're losing 2 straight away in the first 2 rounds. So 5v3s attacking in Cafe, and you don't have numbers. You don't have the full operator lineup that you want to help conjure the attack, especially on a site like Kitchen here as well. It's going to be super important. What happens if you lose Chef early on? Well, you lose that first floor. Also the second floorboard control. You got to be very cautious as you enter the building, but at the same time, you don't want to take too long. It is full first floor stack though for Enterprise, and judging by the operator lineup, it really does suggest that they're just going to play the bunker style. Still need to be vigilant if you're ANIOS, top down clear, just to double check everything. Otherwise, this is rather default for EP.
Probably just a fundamental check here from EP. Try and force plan. Pretty happy to play Denial. Look to play VIP with the 2 Barrel. That's of course could counterplay into a potential freezer drop from ANIOS. Who haven't? Oh, they do have the RAM actually, so they have pretty good versatility in terms of the vert on offer that they can establish here. Pretty standard Cafe at the moment. The round's likely going to be determined in the last portion. There is double Nitro here, so we could see EP aggress a little bit early on into the round and maybe disrupt to find entry, but given the position of Brendo and the position of Cairo, they're not really in said positions to disrupt and counter that vert at the moment.
So all 3 of the Boogie Auto breaches for Chef have been activated. Floorboards opened up, minute left. As you said, this is pretty much following the script of a Cafe game in terms of whether the determination will be as to who wins this round over the next 20 seconds or so. It's critical that ANIOS can find a kill or 2. Proxy having to deal with the barbed wire. Tuhan was taken incredibly low on the Clash, but if they're going freezer side, the Clash's importance is at the best of times usually to delay a bakery side hit, because you've got Cairo in VIP anyway. He goes with a close angle Nitro, and then the Blackbeard almost dealt with initially for White. Somehow Cairo got 1 and the second. He was under an immense amount of pressure. He was also sitting there wondering why his Nitro cell wasn't going off. 15 seconds left, and it's another 5 versus 3 for Enterprise. An easy drop-down kill for Tuhan, sitting in the right place, and it's back-to-back flawless for the best team in the region. After they were tested on Fortress, they've responded very quickly on the 3rd and final map. 3-0 start.
Yeah, really good work there from Cairo. He was put in a difficult position and asked if he can step it up and find a multi, and that's exactly what he was able to do. Probably a lack of util layering there from the attack. There was a big investment with the Blackbeard to find value, and it just got a little awkward there in the final portion. The push, good Zoto canister, and then good gunplay from Cairo. As we prepare for round 4, additional bans, the Denari, which has seen extensive play throughout this series and picked on 1 occasion so far here on Cafe, and then of course the Glaz, which has been essentially a mainstay for Team ANIOS across their last several attacks and what helped get them across the line on Fortress. AP kind of getting sick of dealing with that, and so it's been taken out as well.
I think there's actually gonna, if Enterprise do win this map, I think they'll walk away as a team, Mag included in this, very happy with today. I think that's got to be the mindset, which is where you learn the most when you lose, firstly. And secondly, you don't want to just walk through the region and win every map 7-0 and then go overseas and think, well, it's going to be so much more of a challenge that you almost don't even know how you got to play differently, all those things. Of course, these guys know that more than anyone, but I think that they would have learned a lot from Fortress. They certainly would have learned a lot from Consulate as well. And I'm not talking individually. I'm talking as this core 5 as a team. Understanding each role, who plays where, all of those things. obviously not done yet. And again, the idea that it's going to be defensive focus is very much at full effect on Cafe. The ANIOS will know they kind of only have to pinch a round or two. You kind of look at the 3 maps that have played out. First map on Consulate, Enterprise won the first 4 rounds. On Fortress, it was 4 of the first 5 rounds from ANIOS, and on Cafe now 3 rounds straight for Enterprise. So the team that has started well in the respective maps has gone on to win the map.
So Shaz again here on the Blackbleed to play frontline. And well, the secondary line elsewhere from Chef. Jeff does net a kill as well. Castle off the board. Utility, though, already pre-placed, but still a net win for the attack, who have been struggling to establish an early round foundation to then play off of. So let's now see what conversion is like for ANIOS. Unfamiliar territory for them by having set advantage, as mentioned. And still a pretty firm hold up above here from AP, who are not peeling eagerly. Bappen finds one back, still layering pressure. Midpoint of the round, a 4 versus 4.
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to peel 4v5. You want to stay and then even here 4v4. It's like, can we get one more, then peel back? Unless we're completely forced from this position. And Bappen gets that kill into Chef. Chef knows there's one over towards Belk, and this is going to force the drop. It doesn't quite get down alive. He is down, but not out. Over towards Laundry. Cairo got one onto Shaz. Trade from Proxy. Can they get Bappen back up? They will. Brendo's over towards Laundry. Razor trying to pressure from Babab as 2-harm with a wonderful Nitrocell. Good teamwork. Saving Private Bappen will be successful for Enterprise, and they got one as well at the same time. Proxy in the 1v3. It's been quite a few clutches in the series, but none so far on Cafe. 4-zip in favor of Enterprise. Well, they did this back on Consulate, Guz, and we thought that that was maybe going to be the series in a nutshell, that kind of dominance from Enterprise. It was anything but, because at this moment, back on Consulate, Enterprise 4-0 up, ANIOS timeout, ANIOS then go win 3 straight. We'll see if it happens again, this time now in Cafe.
Time will tell. It's been definitely the ace up their sleeve over the course of this series. ANIOS and their ability to make these timeouts count hasn't always been immediate conversion, but the long-term effect of the timeout seems to have been pretty positive so far. May have been a point of reflection for EP over the course of this series, is just ensuring that off the back of these timeouts, be prepared for maybe a bit of a shift in strategy or temperament from their opponents. Last round out from EP was well played. We saw that calculated aggression up above, not peeling too early. There are opportunities then to capitalize upon that for the attack and cutting them off when they eventually try and rotate. We saw Bappen fall and Cairo caught, but the damage had already been done largely by that point. And then it was the Nitro late to kind of be the cherry on top for the defense over towards that Laundry position. Right here. Started to maybe look winnable for ANIOS, but Proxy got left pretty swiftly in a 1 versus 3. Over to Mining for round 5. ANIOS. Yeah, it's do or die time now.
Back on Fortress, it was the 4 rounds straight from Enterprise in the middle portion of the map from round 6 to 9. Timeout, 3 in a row. ANIOS. Back on Consulate, the first 4 rounds. Timeout, ANIOS, 3 in a row. As he said, it's been an ace up their sleeve. You're going to try and bank on it one more time to get them going on Cafe. 2 more rounds to go in the half, 2 attacking rounds, and that's job done. That's the way you got to frame it. A 2-4 half would have been what they would have been searching for coming into this game. And credit to Enterprise, though, they've looked really sharp on Cafe. Really defined roles. They understand the map more than well enough. Bappen getting information on the pulse. Jigsaw up above on the Malusi. Does he go for the jump out? He has the license. And thinks better of it. I wonder if Jigsaw asks the team, can I jump out? Or he just does it. I feel like he just does it.
I think he definitely asked for forgiveness.
Gyro, he gets the opening pick onto Wizard. The drop for Wizard unsuccessful. And then Shaz goes for the gunfight, and Brendo rips his head off. Another 2-player advantage start for Enterprise. They have been dominating in the early portion of these rounds from Cafe. 4 of 5 opening kills now in their favor. And the sole opening kill for ANIOS didn't even net them a round win as Jigsaw loses to Proxy. Eraser gets rid of Tuhan. The timeout magic coming to the forefront. It's a 3v3 and the closest round that we've seen so far, and it comes to a quick end as it's now only down to Proxy in a 1v3. Shut down by Bappin. 5 rounds straight for Enterprise. They're the first team to string together 5 rounds in a row in the entire series.
Well, this is the EP that we've come to know and love quite quickly here. Early days for this rendition of the roster, but this is the kind of dominance that I think many probably expected. Good display on Cafe so far. They're just essentially every component of the game, they're looking in control. Jigsaw drew a bit of an outline there, caught an awkward timing, and it did maybe give ANIOS an opportunity, but there's still so many strong positions horizontally held there from EP that it was never really a realistic prospect. Final round then of the half, and EP looking to cap it off perfectly.
So since Chuhan was 1-7 on Fortress, he's now 11-4 since then. He's been able to really turn his form around in the second half of this series. Cairo having a big game. Chef Jeff even labeled it a life game for Cairo, 9-2. And Jigsaw's on for 40. If he can get there, it may... Well, if he can't get there, it may only be because they win 7-0. Although he only needs 4 more kills. So very achievable for Jigsaw even in the next 2 rounds as we go into the final round of the half. You surely can't imagine now that Team ANIOS will have the capabilities of bringing this back. But at a 5... I mean, if it gets to 5... They've got to win this round. They're not bringing back 6-0. But 5-1 more doable on defense, Cafe, for sure. But at that point, I'm reaching. You could probably put a line through this one already and base it off really the first 2 maps. I said it before, but on Consulate, 4-0 start. Enterprise, they go and win the map. On Fortress, a 4-1 start for ANIOS, they go and win the map. Cafe, Enterprise, 5-0 start. You kind of put the pieces together and suggest this one's unlikely for ANIOS.
Very, very unlikely. Look, given the amount of fight they've already shown in the limited time we've seen them in 2026, I think I don't want to unfairly rule them out, but it would take an all-timer effort to see this result flip back. I think the fact that they've even taken a map in the series is very impressive. Anything more would be incredibly impressive.
And very competitive on Consulate as well.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I don't think they'll walk away after this map if it does blow out to be too disappointed.
I know. Well, I mean, for ANIOS, the downside is you drop lower bracket and you got to win a couple of best of 3s before you get a potential second crack at Enterprise, maybe in a grand final. But if they do get to that point and we end up in a grand final where it's these 2 teams, ANIOS will probably feel like we can do it now. We know we can. We've taken a map off them. And then we're very close to another one. 60 seconds left, 5v5. ANIOS have tried to, of course, get most of the work done.
Oh, Logic Bomb.
Push up. Good cover, though, from Bappin over towards Bar. Helping out for Cairo inside VIP. Double stack pushing down Brown Stairs. Brendo got rid of Proxy. Bappin is down. As you said, forgotten about Cairo, and he pushes out of VIP. And then a lovely kill onto Chef Jeff after dealing with Wizard. It's only a Razor. As Enterprise on the verge of a clean, flawless first half. 6-0 will be cemented in. The best team in the region, showing exactly why. But Eraser will not give up on this round as he acquires the kit. And with 20 seconds on the clock, it is Jigsaw and Tuhan that stands in his way. As he slips into Freezer, he still needs to get this kit onto the ground. He tries to clear out the close angles, but doesn't clear out Jigsaw. The 6-0 half has been confirmed for Enterprise. They've got 6 match point opportunities going into the second half.
Can I tell you what's on my mind? 'Cause I've been thinking about it for quite some time. Hey, can you give me a moment to declare my love? Can I tell you what's on my mind? Can I get a chance to let you know you're my heart's desire, and I love you so? Will you stay right here, or will you run away? If I tell you what's on my mind, I know we're more than friends, but less than lovers. This is not the end. There's much more to discover. Promise to stay. Will you promise to never leave? If I tell you what's on my mind, can I let you see the real me? Will you hang around, or will you break free? Would you break free, baby? I just need to know. Would you let me go? If I tell you what's on my mind, I know the day will come. When I let you go, the love I have for you may grow. Promise to stay. Will you promise to never leave?
Oh, I can't with the music, bro. I can't. Oh, look, honestly, at this point, I feel like Twitch chat, if they're voting this into the playlist, they're just doing it to troll. Like, but like they're trolling themselves at that point. I don't know. Anyway, not much more to go here. I think on Cafe, as Enterprise have been far too good in that first half. 6-0. Kitchen, the side choice for ANIOS, who need to win 6 rounds straight themselves.
Yeah. Monty, Thatcher, Mira, and Kai banned out for the second half. How long the second half will actually go on for is anybody's guess, but expecting it to be pretty prompt. Enterprise have looked incredibly sharp here on Cafe. And so probably poses the question then in terms of Fortress. Probably will end up being my question in the interview is, do they sense that maybe they were just a little bit off on Fortress, so they need to revisit their plans, or was it maybe just ANIOS actually playing really, really well and outskilling them on that map as it stands currently? Obviously, Consulate was somewhat close as well, but Cafe has been, yeah, otherworldly, really. ANIOS running out of steam a little bit, it would seem, and EP fit and firing. Lots of experience in best of 3 matches, probably paying dividends for them here towards the tail end. Sense an interesting selection here from EP. We'll see how they look to deploy that.
Oh, proxy caught in the window by an upside down Cairo, who continues his good run of form on Cafe. Goes to 12-3. I don't even know what that means in chat. Am I?
I didn't say it.
Alone? FICL?
I don't know.
Are we boomers?
We're getting too old for this.
I'm scared. Oh, Chef Jeff, he goes for a power play. Doesn't work. Top red. 2 Hunt switched on. They had the double stack there as well anyway. And Chef Jeff threw caution to the wind, but It comes up short, and it seems like for ANIOS 7-0, and it's a little disappointing because for as great as this series was shaping up to be, 7-0 feels a little disingenuous for ANIOS and how good they were. Of course, winning Fortress, competitive on Consulate. This will just be a little demoralizing, but they should still walk away from the series as a whole, taking some confidence. But Enterprise also, I mean, if you're going to drop a map, this is the perfect response.
Patience then from Enterprise as they look to edge closer towards closing out this map and this series for a rather rare 7-0. They don't happen every day of the week, especially in best of 3 deciders. They'll look to just poise themselves here, gain additional information. Dockerby's been able to hack information. Bapping can look to hack utility as well. So they should have very, very good reads late round here. Wizard, red stairs, bit of a Hail Mary flank attempt. Will he be able to make this work? Goes all the way up. Okay. Big commit.
And they just lost Shaz. He's just got a decent... Oh my god.
Oh my word.
Cairo. Cairo finishes it with 14 kills, goes 14-3. Oh, he said he needed to warm up real quick, and he did so on the first 2 maps for a power statement map on the third of Cafe. 7-0 from Enterprise. They make very quick work in the end of Team ANIOS. For Chef Jeff and the boys, they should still walk away content that they can mix it with the very best in the region, maybe just not on Cafe.
Yeah, absolutely. It proves that Enterprise aren't infallible, but the fact that it was a close result on map 2, the newest in the pool, and the others were pretty one-sided, especially Cafe, boasting that best of 3 experience and being able to dominate on that final map. It's still incredibly scary, and if anything, it just reinforces the fact that if they reach adversity over the course of this bracket, they'll be able to lock in and play even better. So in terms of changing the complexion of any of the storylines that we've established earlier here, in terms of EP being by far and away the best team, I really don't think it compromises that all too much. In fact, in some ways, it probably actually reinforces it. The way in which they were able to flex their pedigree on this final map was a real testament to how strong this team really is.
Yeah, I mean, that's the way to look at it, right? Is that, yes, it can be close and it can be a little bit back and forth. There can be some momentum swings that go the way of Team ANIOS, but Team ANIOS at no point had any kind of capability of doing to Enterprise what Enterprise just did to Team ANIOS. You know, a big 7-0 on the third and final map puts Enterprise into the upper bracket final. It does send Team ANIOS down to the lower bracket where they now have to win 3 or 4 best of 3s in a row, and that's never going to be an easy task. We got Bappin in for our interview after the win for Enterprise. Bappin, congratulations on the win. I feel like this 2-minute interview window is not enough time. There's like a million questions that I have. But firstly, the clutches from yourself throughout this series, a tremendous effort. Talk us through those, especially on the first 2 maps, because, well, there were no clutches on the third, obviously.
I think, I don't know, something just had to kick in. Like, we needed those rounds. I think I just had to pull something out of my ass, I guess, get those rounds in. Those clutches were obviously insane. Like, I opened Twitter for a second and just notifications going off, but I think the boys really pulled through. I don't think we should highlight the clutches as much. Just the resilience from the team is good.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you guys bounced back massively on map 3. Not too much really to note there. Taking us back to Fortress though for a moment, how do you and the boys kind of assess that performance early? Is that a case of ANIOS playing really well, or do you feel like you guys maybe dropped the ball a little bit?
I think we definitely dropped the ball a bit with some comms stuff, not listening. Not that it was an issue, but they obviously played their roles. But it's just that one-off map they're gonna win, you know. You got to give them something.
Yeah.
Talk us through, I guess, going into the third map. You dropped Fortress. I imagine that was just a way to kind of get a feel of the map, test it, live environment, so that it's not something that you're going to be as unfamiliar with, obviously being a new Core 5. But going into Cafe, you know, was there anything that Mag said specifically or you guys discussed in terms of changing things up, or just kind of backing your system in?
I think everyone's really on the ball with our system. We all like fully mentally reset. That like map didn't even count, to be honest. There's like clean slate, played the Cafe exactly how we were meant to play every other map. We brought it to them and they didn't get around. So I think that should show you how good we can play at our best.
And last one before I let you go, but I guess the fact that I wouldn't say obviously the third map is kind of weird, but the first two maps quite close, and Team ANIOS actually had some good moments, played well. Is that a good thing though for the region? I mean, it's probably not great if you guys are just 7-0ing every single game.
Yeah, I mean that's good for ANIOS. Like they're clearly like paving a path for themselves in the region. Like they shouldn't be underestimated. Everyone calls them the underdogs, but everyone knows what they can bring now, so it's good.
Certainly no underdog with Chef Jeff in the team, that's for sure. Bappa, thank you so much for coming on and having a chat. Best of luck in the upper bracket final next week. So 2 series in the books, 1 to go here on this wonderful Easter Sunday as we had 2-1 and 2-1. And funnily enough, guys, it's the third and final series. Barbie Boys, Chiefs. That was the one I really would have thought 2-1's nailed on. So now it probably won't happen.
It's going to be a quick 2-0. Who knows? Yeah, very excited to see how that shapes up. And I mean, I'm starting to walk away from that matchup, maybe depending on how Barbie Boys and Chiefs actually does play out in the quality of the Siege. But there's probably a world in which EP and ANIOS could be rematching in that grand final. It truly feels like ANIOS have found what's working for them so far. And if they continue to improve and kind of show this strength over the course of the bracket, who knows? I don't want to pitch them as being strong favorites making the grand final because they are that underdog team for a reason. But yeah, they've shown a lot today.
Alrighty, so we're going to go to a short break. You guys are going to get to jam out to some more music and judge my own music taste. And you know what? I'll try a chat moving forward with the halftime jams. Give me a break. We'll go to a break. First up, then Barbie Boys, Chiefs on the other side.